Michelle and her children were safe. Most of the damage was contained to the area around Highway 9306. Parish President Matthew Jewell said that there are no injuries reported.
The tornado hit around 2 p.m. and we had nearly everyone reconnected by 9 p.m. last night. LSU seemed to run out of power last night at Texas A&M. Daniel's going to keep, and he lost the ball. Going to be picked up by the Aggies, running the other way, Damani Richardson. We'll take it into the score in Texas A&M. Picked up by the Aggies, running the other way, Damani Richardson. We'll take it into the score in Texas There was an early morning shooting on Corbin Street this morning. Police say just before 2 a.m., 3 males and 1 female victim were all shot. No information on their conditions is available. The investigation is ongoing. It turns out that 5 people were shot in just about 3 hours yesterday on Corbin Street this morning. Police say just before 2 a.m. Fairly long with WWL Sports.
This WWL Sports Update brought to you by TrainSouth.com. It's never stop trains. Rivalry League delivered some wild results in college football yesterday. 4 top 10 teams lost, including the number 5 LSU Tigers, who fell 38-23 in a stunner at College Station at Texas A&M last night.
Weckman takes the snap, give to A.J. Big hole left side. A.J. to the 5, stiff arms a man into the left corner of the end zone. Texas A&M. Got 10-yard run for A.J. Second touchdown of the night.
Aggie running back Devon Newchain was a thorn in LSU side all night long. He finished the
Texas A&M.
and the Tigers just couldn't stop him. The 4-7 Saints will need to stop the 49ers' strong rushing attack led by running backs Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey if they want a shot at pulling off a big high upset this afternoon. According to the final line, they need to stop the 49ers' strong rushing attack led by running backs Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey if they want a shot at pulling off a big high upset this afternoon. According to the final line, they need to stop the 49ers' strong rushing attack led by stretch in their 2022 regular season. Kickoff is set for 3:25 p.m. and you can listen to pregame, live game, and postgame coverage here on the home of the Saints, WWL. Charlie Long, WWL Sports.
Andrew Garcia roofing forecast.
Coverage here on the home of the Saints, WWL. Charlie Long, WWL Sports.
Andrew Garcia roofing forecast.
Starting off nice, we'll see clouds and clear across the area ahead of our next cold front. We'll look weather for forecast center. I'm WWL meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
I'm Dave Cohen, WWL First News.
From WWL, the News Talk Sports Powerhouse in the Gulf South.
Albert's up, huh?
Legal with Doug Sunseri. Every guy. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Open Art Jewelers Talk and Text Line. 504-260-187. Or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union Studios, in the heart of New Orleans, you are Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Back after a 3-week hiatus. Saints are on at 3:25. So we're on today. I guess it struck midnight at about 9:30 last night for LSU. And we got Albert. Good morning, Albert. Oh, just sort of I feel like midnight has struck, and LSU sort of came back to reality a little bit, it's somewhat disappointing. But overall, if you look at 9-3 in the SEC West championship, I think anybody who's an LSU fan would have took that after the Florida State game Labor Day weekend. So, yeah. Albert, you have to take it. I lost you. Okay, I'm back. Well, there were three plays that Eddie Lacy dropped a first down at about the 10-yard line that might have scored. Obviously, the sack fumble touchdown, and the third was after the sack fumble. LSU was driving again. They were down at the 35-yard line, I believe, and then Daniel scrambled. It was 3rd and 6. He scrambled for a first down. Penalty was called, and then they went. Yeah. Right. And so I think such momentum, and you got younger. Well, 18 to 20. Momentum's everything in college football. You look at the Ohio State Michigan game yesterday. How the momentum turned in the fourth quarter. So it's just it was a good year. It's disappointing to get to that, have that opportunity, and not take advantage of it. But Texas A&M was one play away from beating Alabama. They underachieved all year, and this was their bowl game. And now the fact that they had nothing to play for, the expectations were stripped off of them, and they went out there and played. And LSU also, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Also, right. And they got beat at the point of attack, also, which was interesting. Now, I will say this in defense of LSU. Harold Perkins, they lost their best defensive lineman in the first game against Florida State, and LSU really didn't have a rotation for its defensive linemen. It only had a rotation of maybe 4 for 3 defensive linemen. Now, that became an issue when Texas A&M held the ball or took those long first half drives, for 12, 13 plays. And when you're on the field that long, it's going to take its toll on the back end of the game, especially if you don't have that rotational depth that a lot of Georgia would have. They have 6 or 7 players who come who rotate in the defensive line. Well, I think also too, it's different playing when you're the quote the hunter, or you're the underdog. You play without expectation. You play without fear. And then I think you saw a little bit during the Arkansas game, a little bit of a let up, but in a sense, now you're playing with that expectation. You're playing with that expectation that you should win instead. And I think that's a different mindset that they'll have to learn But against Georgia, they'll be playing free. I mean, they're not going to be, they won't have that expectation on them. Again, they'll be back in their role that they were when they played Alabama, in that role when they played Ole Miss in Florida. So I'm not totally pessimistic about what would happen next Saturday. Georgia does have some vulnerabilities. Those vulnerabilities were exposed a little bit against Kentucky last week, and even in the first half against Georgia Tech. So, we'll see. I mean, I don't think that. I think they'll go out there and play as if they had nothing to lose, and should be. But who knows? Who knows? This has been. Now, here's the interesting part. Congratulations to Tulane. Tulane's playing in the American Athletic Championship at Bogman Stadium, and what a game! That is a game where they just won it. They took it away from Cincinnati. They just took it away from him, and he put it in the hands of his defense. They play. And they'll play. And I'm sure they'll have a game plan for the quarterback that they didn't have last time. But here is an interesting scenario. LSU versus Tulane in the Cotton Bowl, if Tulane wins. Which would be something that neither program envisioned back 3 months ago. I think that would be fun, and it would be good for the Cotton Bowl. It's a big, a Super Six bowl, but that's very, very realistic. And boy, did you see Spears yesterday, the running back for Tulane? He's like watching Alvin Kamara, or Alvin Kamara when he's healthy.
Let me tell you what, he reminds me honestly a lot of Barry Sanders, the way he can stop and start and change direction. He was running full blast, and then he stopped somebody, run past him, and then he would cut back the other way. And he tapped him behind a lot of scrimmage, but not. He gained 3 yards. Just like, how did he do that? And he was kind of nursing a little bit of hamstring too. So
Yes.
It was fun. I went to my first game. Actually, somebody had fun and invited me, and I went a couple weeks ago. And it's really a great football experience. It's not a bad seat in that stadium. The weather was a little chilly, but it was good football weather. And Tulane was fun to watch. I mean, they got a good thing going. And they'll win it on Saturday and have a good bowl game. What a great season!
Oh, absolutely. For Tulane to be in that position where they could play in a New Year's Day bowl. Son of a gun, when was the last time that happened? Had to be might have been the Rose Bowl back in the 30s or the Sugar Bowl sometime in the 40s. I'm sure there's some historian from Tulane who could text in last time that Tulane played in a New Year's Day bowl, which would be fantastic. And I always thought that Tulane could be like a University of Miami in the sense of you have a private institution with a great academic reputation in a great destination, urban area. And, I just think now that they have someone that's able to do that and hopefully stay around to build that. But this could be a consistent type of program for Tulane. In the state of Louisiana also, even if you get the second line players that LSU may pass on, you still can build a top 25 team because there's so much talent here. So congratulations.
All these kids from locally that play ball on the West Bank and that play ball in the river parishes that like you say might get passed over, but would love the opportunity to go to Tulane and go to school in New Orleans, close to home, the family can watch them play. It's a perfect opportunity. It's just all about the administration and about the alumni and the support. Once you get that group behind you can build a program.
Just being committed to it. And also, so congratulations to Tulane. And Okay, today we're on till 11 o'clock. The Saints play at 3:25. 3:25. So pregame starts at 11. So we're going to extend an hour. So we have who do we have at 8? We got 2 guests today. We got
We have a couple of guests. Our first guest will be calling in after the break. Wayne Lamonier. Wayne is of a company called the Coin Agent, and with FTX, going under the big crypto company, he's gonna give us some insight and explain some of that to us. Explain just currencies and markets and Federal Reserve and some of those aspects of those types of investments, and the gold market and the coin market and just all the different types of currencies that are out there.
and
And I think
at the 9 o'clock, we're going to have Eileen Carter from Recall, Executive Director for Recall Latoya. She's going to tell us about the progress of the recall petition for the mayor, and also talk about an alternative way to cast your recall ballot without going in person. I think there's some type of mail-in that she's going to tell us about her progress. And I want to ask her also too, why, a little bit is why she expending so much, why you take on this task. And the other thing too is, has this modified the mayor's behavior or has made her more emboldened? And so, I don't know. There's certain issues I'm sure she thinks about now, saying how will this play in my recall, and probably would do something maybe a little differently. But in some other ways, the Motel Cantrell seems to be open, and that seems to be a problem also. So, jeez. Only in New Orleans, man. Only in New Orleans can we have that. And only in New Orleans people don't get upset about it either. So. Yeah, I know. All right, well, let's go to a break. We're going to have Wayne Lamonier. Did I pronounce that right? Lamonier. All right, and after the break, talk about cryptocurrency, which I don't know anything about. So I'll be anxious to learn. So we'll be right back on All Things Legal right after this brief timeout.
WWL, home of Scoot on the Air. Always live on the free Odyssey app. The Saints take on the 49ers in San Francisco today. Game day coverage starts at 11 a.m. First take with Steve Geller and Jeff Nowak. At 1 o'clock, the Bud Light countdown to kickoff with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrett, and Mike Detillier. Game time at 3:25 p.m. with Deuce and Hoss. Then, when it's over, sign off with the Cajun Cannon. Saints, 49ers, today on WWL, and always live on the free Odyssey app. Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again. Somebody has to do something. Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside. Upside, what's that? It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon in this tank. Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached? Yeah, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up. Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. For 25 cents per gallon on your first bill. That's code HUGE. Use code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first bill. Cash back available. Gas New Jersey, Wisconsin.
Bobby Hebert, you can hear. Look, football fans, make this a Thanksgiving November with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because when you bet an NFL same-game parlay from now through November the 28th, all customers get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose. Just bet an NFL same-game ain't done.
Yeah.
$20. The bigger you bet, the more you'll get back in free bets. NFL same-game parlays are a perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a larger payday. Build your own or choose to learn a popular SGP's pre-bill for you and FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose, when you bet an NFL same-game parlay of 4 legs or more. If you You the fan you? Sign up with the promo code ABEAR. That's HEB. Four legs or more. If you the fan you? Sign up with the promo code ABEAR. That's HEB. Four legs or more.
Sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 877-770-STOP.
Sheldon check with full agents excited here. Back in the list. I sure hope come see me at the Children's Hospital New Orleans Holiday Parade. There'll be over 20 floats and balloons so big they fill up the sky. Wow! We roll Saturday, December 3rd at 11 a.m. Go to NOLAHolidayParade.com for all the details. And a special thanks to Kern Studios in the downtown development district. Hope to see you there.
Real love, Emerald Flake, calls for the gift of real diamonds. At Oakland Heart, you can make her breathless for less. There's a great work of art in every box from Oakland Heart on Metairie Road.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-4180 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
All things legal on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Heart Jewelry Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyer. Albert, I was going to get you to introduce your guest.
Wayne Lamonier, Wayne and I have known each other probably for 30 years or so. We've been playing basketball together and all kind of other sports, and good friend. And I had a little conversation with him about STX and the company that went belly up. And anyway, so I thought it'd be interesting to have him on the show and get his take on everything. Good morning, Wayne. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us real quickly, you have a company called The Coin Agent. What is that? Tell me what you do, and we can get into the crypto.
Basically, what I do is wealth preservation through silver and gold ownership, physical ownership, taking possession of the coins or storing it at a depository, but it isn't a paper deal, and it's not, I don't do jewelry and that kind of thing. So it's about wealth preservation through gold and silver.
Okay, all right, and then and you located in Metairie, right?
Old Jefferson.
Old Jefferson. Okay. So we talked about FTX. What was FTX? So my issue is I'm 61 years old. I consider myself rather educated, but no one can explain to me the whole crypto concept and the idea and what it is. And, what is FTX? And, from the news stories everywhere, I know they were, one of the biggest donors to the Democratic Party, right? And they just recently went under, or, there was a big scandal. Can you explain that and what the implications of that is?
Okay, so taking it back a little bit, there's a young guy, 29-year-old, named Sam Bankman-Fried, and he founded a hedge fund, a crypto hedge fund called Alameda Research. And he figured out a way that he could buy cryptocurrencies on different exchanges and turn a profit. For instance, a Bitcoin might be worth $10,100 on one exchange and $10,000 on another. So he would buy it on one, sell it on the other, and it became very, very profitable. And so he went from there and opened up a crypto exchange. It's called FTX. Now, crypto exchange is different than a hedge fund because it's taking everyday people's wallets and allowing them to use the exchange to buy and sell freely. He was a big donor to the Democratic Party, and now, with all respect, one of his chief officers donated $24 million to the Republican Party. So
yeah, I mean, it's a uniparty. So
right, so they're donating a bunch of money to political parties.
Yeah.
He became on the cover of Forbes. He was a crypto darling. And let me just say that all these exchanges and the hedge fund are all based in the Bahamas. So how strict the regulations were, how easily people were bought and sold, I don't know. Yeah.
What?
Anyway, he became more aggressive with his Alameda Research hedge fund and was taking riskier bets. And at the same time, the crypto space took a correction. And so he started, just to make a long story short, started using money from the exchange to fund Alameda to keep it going, and eventually dipping into clients' digital wallets. One of his big clients, who owns his own crypto exchange called Binance from the Caymans, a Chinese gentleman named Z, called him on it, sold 500 million of his tokens, and at that point he started trying to raise money, couldn't, and within a day or two he files Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Let me do.
Yeah, I mean, the story's still, unfolding, but that's pretty much the gist of what happened.
Let me dial it back a little bit. I mean, what is like the elevator explanation of crypto, and why has it? Yeah.
I'm saying with Doug, I don't understand it or what it is or why it exists or how it works.
Crypto was going to be the new gold. Crypto is an idea.
Okay.
Cryptocurrency is an idea, and blockchain is a technology. Cryptocurrencies use blockchain as a platform for their transactions. So the blockchain I'm kind of going into another question, but the blockchain technology has many applications. It's in banking and voting, and it's revolutionary from what I've read. I'm not a computer expert, but they're saying that this will be the future, and it may be the current way that banking is done. So the crypto guys came up with this idea. So, I mean, it's just an idea. And what keeps it afloat is investors. Without investor support, crypto will die. So, I mean, we could start Albert Coin tomorrow. And if we get enough people investing in it and get enough, excitement about it, it could exist as a cryptocurrency.
Let me ask you two questions, just conceptually. What is blockchain, and not the tech, but the way it works different than normal banks transact money?
Okay, so it is they call it a peer-to-peer. It's immutable. It can't be hacked. And every transaction that is on the ledger, it's a block of a transaction that's connected with a chain to the next block, and everybody can see it. It's all transparent. And so there's no waiting days for something to clear.
I got you.
It happens simultaneously. And that's what's, I guess a good analogy would be waiting for a check to clear.
Right.
It has to go to this bank, and then it goes to that bank, and then it gets to this bank, and they say, yeah, it's good, and then it comes back to this bank. It happens immediately.
Now the second question I have is regulation. What protections do purchases of crypto have, if any?
Well, they're regulating it more and more.
Yes.
And one of my biggest problems with it, and I've been looking at this since it came out, trying to understand it, and it's difficult to understand that the people that are pro-crypto will tell you it's the future of money. And it may be, but it'll be the digital dollar. It won't be, all these different ones that are popping up. Crypto is simply just somebody's idea, and it's supposed to be meaning that it doesn't have any intrusion. But regulation is coming, and it's happening. And so when they came out with the idea of cryptocurrencies, I said, well, how is the Federal Reserve going to allow this to exist in direct competition with it for money? And I mean, my answer is it's not. And at some point, they'll just regulate the heck out of it and make it unattractive, and then people will stop investing in it.
So let me ask you about crypto. If I have, I don't know, X amount worth of crypto, the value of that crypto, is that based on the dollar value? And if I sell it, do I get dollars?
That's what the crypto exchanges do. You can take your Bitcoin to an exchange, and you can exchange Bitcoin for Ethereum. You can exchange it back into dollars. You can do that.
Yeah.
It's like when it was at 60,000 in November, and I said, people would ask me, and I go, well, if you have money in it, you've made a good bit of money. At least take your investment out, because you don't want to be on the merry-go-round when the music stops.
Now, throughout American history, from the gold rush or on, there's always been these dreams of instantaneous wealth. What do you see is, I guess, the lure of crypto and the, I guess, hazards of an investor trying to get, with going into crypto thinking they're going to have this, phenomenal wealth, be ahead of the curve?
I think the bigger part of this whole thing is greed. People wanting to turn something into nothing, or nothing into something. Investing. I think there's tremendous risk associated with it. The Federal Reserve tells you it's speculative and risky. And it's just an idea that people are supporting. And when they stop supporting it, then the idea is not as good anymore. It's like I could have the rarest coin in the world, and if nobody wants it, then it has no value.
So that's
right. Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, we deal in all kinds of commodities, property, and different, antiques and different things, and especially as lawyers, we're trying to put values on things, businesses, and whatever, and it always comes down to the business is worth, the property is worth what someone will pay for it, and I guess that's the same thing with this as well. But it's interesting to determine or to look at and see what guides it and why people are, again, so attracted to it. But
all right. What?
Well, I mean, they see the profitability. They see it go to 60,000, and I just think I almost likened it to the tulip scandal, where people were buying tulips because they said this is the thing to be in. I had people come in my office and say, oh, well, the hedge funds, all the big retirement accounts are getting into crypto. I said, okay, it's still risky, and you can't explain it. You don't know the origin of it. Tell me where it came from. Tell me who's behind it. Yeah, and that's part of its attraction, that you don't know who the owners of the Bitcoins are, but I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of that the average Bitcoin owner is a very small percentage, and the big whales, they call them, that own most of the Bitcoin are few. And so that puts you at risk as a small guy buying Bitcoin.
All right. Well, I'll tell you. Well, let's go to a break, and we'll just continue discussion.
Let people call in with some questions, because I'm sure people have some questions. And there's some comments.
Maybe they can correct me if I've got something wrong.
All right. Let's go. All right. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
WWL, home of Sports Talk with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier. Always live on the free Odyssey app. WWL is your home for Saints football. Home of the Saints Coaches Show with Dennis Allen. Home of with Mickey Loomis. Home of Saints legends Bobby Hebert and Deuce McAllister. Catch all the latest black and gold news, views, and interviews. Plus, exciting play-by-play on the Community Coffee Saints Radio Network. WWLAMFM.com. And always live on the free Odyssey app. Football fans, make this
One sportsbook, because now when you bet an NFL same-game parlay from now through November 28th, all customers get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose. Just bet an NFL same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus of at least $20. The bigger you bet, the more you'll get back in free bets. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a larger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, get up to $150 in free bets, win or lose, when you bet an NFL same-game parlay, 4 legs or more. Sign up with promo code Garrick. That's GARIC. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
On WWL Radio.
Yeah.
President in Louisiana. We have a Gregory from New Orleans, and he wants to talk about crypto.
Okay.
Free bet $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Natural diamonds are a girl's best enemy, mon chéri. But emeralds, sapphires, rubies, and pearls make awesome BFFs too, and even better gifts, especially if they're from Oakland Heart Jewelers. During the holidays and to le jour, you can choose from a vast selection of rings, bracelets, earrings, and necklaces in every price range. Just listen to this review from Janice. Oakland Heart worked with me to find the most beautiful sapphire I've ever seen. The ring was a surprise for my mother this Christmas. Je t'aime, Janice. Oakland Heart offers a splendid selection of fine Swiss timepieces, as well as the latest from David Yurman, Penny Prevost, Mikimoto Pearls, and Marco Piccio. Or you can choose an exclusive Oakland Heart design, created by our award-winning master craftsman. C'est magnifique, oui. In any language, Oakland Heart will leave you speechless. There's a great work of art in every box from Oakland Heart on Metairie Road.
Todd is in love. Sarah, I've never felt this way before. But he's about to find out that sometimes when you chase after love,
I'm moving to Paris.
you've got to step on the gas. Because this isn't your classic holiday rom-com. It's a Nissan event bag. Wait, what? Featuring a powerful performance by Nissan Rogue.
Huh?
I'm coming with you.
Now make no payments until February 2023 on select vehicles.
Get your heart racing at Nissan's Thrill of the Drive event.
Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com.
Don't let true love or these offers slip away.
Up to 90 day rating options available when purchasing eligible Nissan vehicles from new certified premium staff and finance through NMAC excludes zero fees, tax, title, and license. Subject to credit approval and maximum term limits. Delayed payment must be given after 90 days from the date of the contract. Accrual of interest from the contract. The consumer is responsible for payment of accrued interest. Delayed payments are only allowed in Pennsylvania if APR 0%. Dealer participation may vary. Contact line 858-8319 for listed eligible vehicles. See dealer for details and the letter 22.
So how many adjusters has your insurance company assigned to your Hurricane Ida claim? 3, 4, 5? Has your adjuster stopped returning your calls? How many of your emails have been ignored? If this all sounds too familiar, then maybe it's time for you to take the next step. This is Albert Nicaud with the Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm in the area. You paid homeowners insurance premium for years. You deserve to be paid what you're entitled to. When you finally had enough, call me, Albert Nicaud, at 504-837-1304. I'm ready to help you finally get your claim paid.
Get incredible Black Friday deals now at Bed Bath & Beyond. Up to 60% off hundreds of special offers, no coupon needed. 25% off everything else. This weekend only at Bed Bath & Beyond. Expires November 27th. Exclusions apply. See website for details.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something. Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside. Upside? What's that? It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank. Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached? Yeah, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code HUGE. Use code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback is available in gas in Jersey, Wisconsin.
Some people enjoy wherever they go. Some whenever they go. Mark Twain found humor all around. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Humor. Pass it on from PassItOn.com.
Now,
More All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion share solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We're here with Wayne Lemonnier. We got a phone call for Wayne. We got Greg. Hey, Greg, you on all things legal? What you got for us?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey Greg, I'm in my car.
All right.
So this is Gregory. This is Gregory. You went to Dylan Sal with me, my neighbor.
Oh, Talbert. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
It has a lot of information on it. It can hopefully explain some things to all of us about what it is and what the attraction is to the investment.
Yeah, let me do a couple of disclaimers first. I'm by no means an expert on this. I've been doing it about 2 years now. And this is absolutely not financial advice. So, the important thing to know about crypto is it's just, all it is a store of value. So, and what it is perceived value. So Wayne was right about that. It's a place to store your value and hopefully it'll appreciate. But what determines the value, Greg? It's perceived value. It's what the next guy's willing to pay for it, just like in your house or stocks or anything else that you own. Right. So the reason people get in and flip houses is because they buy them and hope that someone else will come in and pay more for it. So it's really kind of a gamble that you're buying an investment that you're hoping someone else pays more for it. But I mean, houses are a limited supply thing, right? I mean, people need houses. Right. Crypto is as well. Crypto is a limited supply. There's only, I think, we're talking about Bitcoin a little bit earlier. I think there's only 2 or 3 million Bitcoins out on the open market. And I think I won that. Yeah, they capped Bitcoin at 21 million, and we won't reach that number till like 2040, I think. I think there are 18.7 million Bitcoins in existence right now. So they're near 21 million, and in that regard, you are correct. It is a finite supply of Bitcoins, but it is still supported by investors who believe it has value. And the reason I mentioned that, I don't fool with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's run its course. It's such a heavy lift. Right. We still think, Bitcoin's at about 16.5 right now. Right. And it's probably going down to 11. I think there's some more pain coming. Mm-hmm. But that's a cyclical deal that's been going on for 12 years since it started. So Bitcoin, is going to go down every 3 or 4 years, 60, 70, 80, 90%. But guess what? Since it started, it's done 690 million%. So you can't find a return like that anywhere else. It's huge. But it's crazy number.
So, but it becomes a question. It becomes a question of getting in and getting out at the right time.
And it's really because, even the people who bought at 69 have taken a bath all the way down to 16.5 right now. But guess what? When the bull run starts, probably not next year, but February 24, it's going to run up way over its all-time high again. It's just that's what it does. So, but the problem is with doing that with Bitcoin, now you're in a heavy lift. So maybe you can do 4 or 5x on the way back up. You're going to have to wait another year and a half. But like the one I got in, which is Hex.com, HEX, and I'm not familiar with it by any means. When it started, it came out, and it's done a 10,000x in the last year and a half, right? So it ran up 10,000x, but now it's down 95%. So crypto is extremely volatile. So if you can't handle the downsides, which a lot of people can, and that's when they lose money if they sell on the way down, right? So, well, yeah, I mean, that's what I said. You need to know when to get off the merry-go-round. When is it peaking, and when that's very. The most important thing, because 90% of the cryptos, I would say, are probably scams. But if you find the right one, that has product market fit, that is immutable, which means you can't
Right.
change the code, so the founder can't come in and steal your money. It's called the rug pull, and has product market fit, then it's going to do well.
Well, I think I just wanted to jump in.
Like a CD on
Yeah, I want to jump in real quick. And what I wanted to do, though, for the listeners, talk about what crypto is, but also the vulnerabilities of it. And you mentioned a high percentage of them are scams because, again, you know, if you say there's instant riches, it's going to attract a lot of people who can't afford it, who are looking for instant riches. And I wanted to, you know, maybe have just a quick discussion of the vulnerabilities for the average investor saying, hey, you know, I could double, triple, no, you know, have all these pie in the sky type of expectations. But I mean, there is a lot of risk because we're coming across that right now with you know, clients who aren't able to, as you say, withstand the downside. And so if you could just talk about that just a little bit before we have to go to commercial.
And that's the thing to remember. It's extremely volatile. So if you can't handle the ups and downs, then you shouldn't be in crypto. A lot of people sell it. They buy at the top and sell at the bottom. You know, because they're trying to trade, and if you trade, you're going to lose all of your money.
And that's sort of the message we want to get out is if you're
let me just add, like, what do you find if you find a good crypto with good product market fit, it can be glorious. What does that mean, Greg? Product market fit. That means you have a crypto that, like I mentioned, is immutable, which means there is no code, there's no admin keys, so the founder can't, you know, do a rush. Meaning they can't get access to your cryptos.
Yeah. All right.
I have one that has some utility. Gotcha.
All right. Thanks for the call. Yeah, we got to take a break. We just had the all things legal counterpoint on crypto. So, but we'll be right back for a couple of minutes before we go to the national news and local news. So we'll be right back. Thanks for the call, Greg, and thanks for not bothering me too much when you sat behind me in Del South. There you go. All right, let's go to break.
WWL, home of Louisiana's great outdoors with Don Dubuque. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Kenny May with special guests Dan Patrick and Keith Oak.
But there was so much competition there behind the scenes and the shows, and there was a lot going on, Kenny. Now it's revisionist history, where people look back and go, "Oh, you guys must have been treated like kings and
Like all the ones who were guillotined and Download and subscribe to Hey May, available on the Odyssey app and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Turn a loss into a win with BetMGM. Place a one-game parlay wager with at least 4 legs on any pro football game. If all legs of the parlay hit but one, you'll get your stake back in free bets up to $25. Log into your account or download the app and sign up with BetMGM. Take advantage of this offer all season long. Just opt into the one-game parlay insurance promotion. Then place a one-game parlay wager with 4 legs or more on any pro football game. If you miss on only one leg on your wager, you'll receive up to $25 back in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.
21 years of age or older to wager. Louisiana only. New and existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or side credit. Free bets expire 7 days.
Yes. How much?
All right, on this last break, we have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to talk before the top.
Okay.
Voila, you've fallen in love. Now, mon ami, it's time to go diamond hunting. The first thing you're going to be introduced to is the 4 C's: cut, color, clarity, and carat. But at Oakland Heart, there's also customization, craftsmanship, conscience, and cost. Let our award-winning master craftsmen help you design a ring that is truly one of a kind. Play unique. Made with ethically sourced natural diamonds. And here's the thing that surprises everyone. Custom made can actually cost you less. Why? Because we buy direct. Ta-ta, middleman. Au revoir. So repeat after me. Les Pets après moi. Customization, craftsmanship, conscience, and cost. The 4 C's reimagined. There's a great work of art in every box from Oakland Heart on Metairie Road.
Game days. Listen for the LCMC Health Injury Report during the countdown to kickoff and locker room shows. Juice, Bobby, and Christian will break down injuries and how they will impact gameplay and strategy. Brought to you by LCMC Health. Healthcare for Louisianians delivered with heart and soul.
If you hire someone to work on your home or business, protect yourself. Go to LAContractor.org and make sure he or she is licensed in Louisiana. That's LAContractor.org for a list of over 26,000 licensed contractors. Spend your money, make wise decisions, and protect yourself.
If you're
All right, we come back in a minute. I'm just going to hit some music without the
Yeah.
going. Then we have
Okay, gotcha.
that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once.
And P.S. I'm not picking the music. I'm just pressing bumpers. So if some of them suck, that's not all.
No, it's
The
okay.
Internal
No
Revenue
big.
Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-4180 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers with Wayne Lemonnier. Wayne, real quick, got about 2 minutes. Crypto has been compared to playing a slot machine, or in some cases, it's susceptible to a pyramid scheme. Could you just tell us in about a minute and a half, buyer beware, caution about crypto, so that they understand what the downsides are?
I think Greg kind of covered that. I mean, it is a risky investment. I mean, just look at what happened at FTX, where you give people control over it. So there's something called a Bitcoin cold wallet, or a crypto wallet that you can keep it cold, where it's stored. You store it on a zip drive. But if you have it on an exchange, it's vulnerable. That's been happening. That's happened before. So it's a risky investment, and the counter to that is gold, and gold is wealth preservation. Not looking to make money, but looking to preserve what I've already made. And it's kind of an insurance for your portfolio, and it's the best kind of insurance, because at the end of the policy, you keep all your premiums. You don't have to pay it.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. This is fine.
Go ahead.
And I got one. Yeah.
You brought up a great point that, if you're flipping houses, the house is going to be worth something. You're not going to lose it all. You might lose money, but you're not going to lose everything. And you're still going to have a house. Somebody needs a house. Somebody has to live in a house. Whereas the crypto is like an idea. And Greg was right. It is a very risky investment. But like you said, when it hits and when it runs, it's like putting $1,000 on the Saints to win the Super Bowl. After they've had a bad year. You got a big hit.
I was going to make the same game parlay joke about that. Let's make a parlay or something and see if we can score some good money.
Yeah.
Because it's really risky.
All right. One last question. You go ahead.
Somebody wants to talk to you more about the gold side of it and wealth preservation.
Sure, you can call me. My 800 number is 888-494-8889, or you can visit www.thecoinagent.com, or you can email me at thecoinagent@gmail.com.
We got about 20 seconds left. You play basketball with Albert. Will he ever lead his league in assist while playing? No. Well, there you go. You got it from someone else. So that's it. Just wanted to prove my hypothesis. So it's just been proven. All right. Thanks, Wayne. Okay, we're going to go to hour number 2 with Eileen Carter of Recall Latoya. Stay tuned.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Small Business Saturday yesterday, big success.
Hey, what are you doing? Cat?
Anytime you come and give your support, you're helping a family make it through.
Inflation has changed some spending habits. Bert Flickinger is with the Strategic Resource Group.
60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and nearly 1 out of every 7 consumers is buying now for groceries and gifts and paying later.
Why vote later when you can vote early? Georgia's runoff election between incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker drew many people to the polls yesterday.
So many people can't get there during the week. And we have many and more opportunities to vote. It's a wonderful thing.
Election day in Georgia is Tuesday, December 6th. It is a change in U.S. policy toward Venezuela. CBS's Tom Crony has that story.
The Biden administration is moving to ease oil sanctions on Venezuela, at least temporarily. President Nicolas Maduro's government has long been under U.S. sanctions. The Treasury Department is now allowing Chevron to resume what it calls limited energy production in Venezuela.
Russian missile attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure have created a dire situation for millions of citizens.
Ukraine is turning increasingly cold, without power, without steady water supply, and without heating.
UN Humanitarian Aid Coordinator Jens Larkin. Here's something to think about this winter.
Trying to stay warm in winter could actually cause asthma flare-ups. Instead, decrease humidity in the house.
Making sure that you've got good air ventilation.
Adele Taylor from Australia's Asthma Council.
If you've got indoor fans in your bathrooms and laundries or even your kitchen area, make sure that you're using those.
The new techniques are mixed in with the old idea of washing bed sheets in hot water above 130 degrees Fahrenheit to kill off dust mites.
Reporter Scott Magnet. Children are especially vulnerable to one of the 3 respiratory viruses out there during this triple-demic.
Even if you manage to make it through the Thanksgiving holiday without getting sick, doctors are still urging the public to get a flu shot and a COVID booster. There is no vaccine currently available for RSV. Parents of young children will have to remain vigilant.
Watch out for warning symptoms for kids: wheezing or dehydration, fatigue.
KPIX TV reporter David Feely. The co-owner of Club Q in Colorado Springs encouraged by the outpouring of support since the mass shooting there that killed 5 people.
The love that we receive from around the world, from our city's officials, from our state officials, the resources that have been made available to our community has been amazing.
The club no longer considered an active crime scene. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
Did you know there's a conservative advocacy and benefits organization with over 2 million members and counting? It's AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Hi, this is Mary Walter. Here are 3 reasons why you should consider joining AMAC right now. First, AMAC saves you money, from discounts on travel and lodging, cell phones and plans, access to insurance products, and more. Joining AMAC is a powerful tool against inflation. Second, with a bi-monthly magazine, daily website content, podcasts with America's thought leaders, and an app that delivers insightful coverage of the issues that matter most. AMAC is a trusted source of information. And third, the reason that people say is their favorite is that AMAC fights for your conservative values on Capitol Hill. With more than 2 million members, AMAC is a voice that cannot be ignored, working tirelessly to preserve the freedoms secured by our Constitution. Go to amac.us/liberty and join today. That's amac.us/liberty. amac.us/liberty.
Bye. See you. Good luck in exams.
Morgan, today's weather much better than yesterday when a tornado ripped through Parody in St. Charles Parish. WWL TV Sam Winstrup checked out the damage.
Michelle Guidry took coverage on a restaurant bastard with her 2 daughters when the tornado hit Paris Saturday. As the sirens blared and the building shook around them, all she could do was pray.
I had my arms around my babies, and I was just praying, God, don't let us die in here. God, don't let us die in here. Please, Jesus, don't let us die in here.
In less than 5 minutes, the tornado tore down power lines, ripped trees from the ground, and peeled roofs off of buildings. but Michelle and her children were safe. Most of the damage was contained to the area around highways 90 and 306. Parish President Matthew Jewell said that there are no injuries reported.
The tornado hit around 2 p.m. Entergy had nearly everyone reconnected by 9 p.m. last night. LSU seemed to run out of power last night at Texas A&M.
Daniel's going to keep, and he lost the ball. Going to be picked up by the Aggies, running the other way. Damani Richardson will take it in for the score. And Texas A&M back on top.
LSU tallying their third loss of the season, and while they will play for an SEC championship next weekend against Georgia, it looks like their dreams of making the college football playoff are over. More coming up in WWL Sports. There was an early morning shooting on Bourbon Street this morning. Police say just before 2 a.m., 2 female and 3 male victims were taken to the hospital with what cops call not life-threatening injuries. The investigation is ongoing. This comes after 5 people were shot in just about 3 hours yesterday, one of them at the corner of Canal and Bourbon. Here's Charlie Long with WWL Sports.
This WWL Sports Update is brought to you by TrainSouth.com. It's starting to stop train. Rivalry Week delivered some wild results in college football yesterday. 4 top 10 teams lost, including the number 5 LSU Tigers, who fell 38-23 in a stunner at College Station in Texas A&M last night.
Royman takes the snap, give to 8.
All right, we got the 19 ready to go.
Okay.
With a 5-step arm into the left corner of the end zone. Texas A&M scores again. 10-yard run for Achain. Second touchdown of the night.
Aggie running back Devon Achain was the thorn in LSU's side all night long. He finished the night with his best game of the season, rushing for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns on 38 carries. They went to him early and often, and the Tigers just couldn't stop him. The 4-7 Saints will need to stop the 49ers' strong rushing attack led by running backs Elijah Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey if they want a shot at pulling off a big-time upset this afternoon. According to the finalized injury report, 5 players are listed as questionable with the Saints. Defensive ends Marcus Davenport and Cam Jordan, quarterback Marshawn Lattimore, guard Andrew Speak, and running back Mark Ingram. The Saints are a crucial stretch in their 2022 regular season. Kickoff is set for 3:25 p.m. and you can listen to pregame, live game, and postgame coverage here on the home of the Saints, WWL. Charlie Long, WWL Sports.
And your Garcia Roofing forecast.
Well, we're in the forecast today. We'll hear it daytime highs reach the lower 70s. Tonight looks quiet too. We'll see a few clouds here and there. It'll be chilly. You may need a light jacket if you have any plans. Tonight, we'll see our overnight temperatures fall into the upper 50s. Monday will be a pleasant start to our day. We'll see our highs climb into the lower 70s under mostly sunny conditions. But Tuesday starting off nice. We'll see clouds increase across the area ahead of our next cold front. We'll hear local weather at the Forecast Center. I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Dave Cohen, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union Studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be on till 11 o'clock since the Saints are playing at 3:25. The Saints take on, as you know, the Saints take on the 49ers this afternoon. Game coverage starts at 11 a.m. with First Take with Steve Geller and Jeff Nowak. Check from also at 1 o'clock. Join Bobby and Christian and Mike Detillier for the Bud Light countdown to kickoff. Game time, 3:25 with Deuce and Hoss. Turn down your TV and sync up your home team with WWL. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Also, you can listen to Deuce and Mike when you have Wi-Fi on your mobile tablet or on your cell phone. So you can listen to Mike and Deuce. Yes. Turn down the sound. Listen. Yeah. Yeah, I heard first, maybe first and last. All right. And it's your guy Jimmy Garoppolo, who you like too. So that's out on the limb there. All right. Well, we got on the phone line. We got Eileen Carter, Executive Director of Recall Latoya. She's getting up early for us on Sunday. And good morning, Eileen. How are you doing?
Good morning. Waking up to the same sad story that everyone else is waking up to. So, good morning, that we're Unfortunately, not good morning for New Orleans.
Well, it's interesting because we get up every Sunday morning. We're doing the show, and we have to sit through these news breaks. And every darn news break, it's a good day. And I'm gonna say this: I'm not saying it's a good. It's always a bad day. But you hear 3 murders, 6 murders, 8 murders, or 6 shootings, and you almost become numb to it because you just hear it, and every time you hear that someone's lost a life, you should be outraged and full of sadness. But now it's just like, hey, it's a typical day in New Orleans, and I guess, and I'm speaking for you, this is probably one of the reasons you're taking on this monumental task of getting some new leadership in New Orleans. Is that correct?
Exactly. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and we become very apathetic. And I think we've done that with our leadership. We've become very apathetic, and we just accept what we have. And we don't have to do that. We are empowered with our voices and our vote. Residents need to be reminded of that. And this is not normal. What we live in is not normal, and it should never become normal. Waking up to mass shootings, waking up to, shootings, you had 5 people shot in 3 hours, and that becoming a normal thing. It's not normal. We don't want our children to think that this is normal. We must speak up for our city. Our city, is being basically held hostage. People aren't even going out, past dark, and now it gets dark really early, like 5:30. It's not fair. When is enough?
Now, Eileen, let's dial it back and let's just, from a historical standpoint, tell us how you started this recall petition and what was the impetus of starting that for you personally?
Well, it's funny because, some people know, some people don't know. I did work in administration, and I left in April 2021. Honestly, I just saw something in the mayor, and I didn't want to work there anymore. When I left, I started to build my own business again, and then Hurricane Ida came, and we were displaced because I had roof damage on my home, so we were right outside Atlanta. And at first I was, kind of very upset about it, but then it ended up being a blessing. I was able to see how another city was run. I got to see, honestly, I felt very ignorant one day because we were on our way home and they were doing street construction. And when I woke up the next day, the street was completed. I worked for the city of New Orleans for 3 years, and I'm like, wait, what? This is possible? This happens like this? I was honestly, my mind was blown because I hadn't seen anything like work happen that fast. And so being away really opened my eyes and my mind. I got to see the Atlanta mayoral election. I also saw him come into office and saw him begin to enact a lot of policy. And I was like, wait, our mayor can literally do that sitting in her bed. All she has to do is text people. How do I know? Because I've been in administration. I know how things can happen quickly if we think about it, if we're conscious about it, and if we have true leadership. And so when I got back to New Orleans, honestly, I still, I've always loved the city, but I still, had hope for this administration. I met with someone who actually still works in administration. I was like, you know what? The mayor does really well in town hall meetings. You also do town hall meetings. She can, reconnect with the residents and build it back up. This can still happen. And we saw the budget town hall meetings happen, right? And then during that process, I saw the disconnect with the mayor and the city, and I was like, this is really bad. And I didn't realize it was that bad. And I was like, this is not going to end well. And then I heard the news with Neil Norman, and when he was talking about how the business community was having conversations about it as well, that's when I knew that this was going to happen, truly, because it takes the people's will, and it honestly takes the business community. We have to be working hand in hand for this to work. And there were rumblings of a recall, and it was just, it came to a head. Belden and I got together, and we went up to Baton Rouge to sign a position. And our reasons were, number one, the mayor isn't putting New Orleans first, and she's not executing the responsibilities of her gender issue. It has nothing to do with that. If you weren't doing your job, what would happen? And, there was a news report recently showing the mayor's public schedule. It's public. So they requested it, and we literally got to see that the mayor isn't working. She didn't show up for a meeting with Senator Cassidy's team. How do we know that was an infrastructure deal? Either she missed or was late for a Sewage and Water Board meeting. That's huge. The mayor is the president of Sewage and Water Board. A lot of people don't know that. She is. She also leads Public Works, and those two departments aren't working together properly, as we see everywhere we drive through New Orleans. So the mayor leads the NOPD. People like, what can she do about crime? If the mayor wanted to hold a meeting today and have all of the stakeholders in the justice arena come sit at the table and say, none of y'all are leaving until we, come up with an effective crime plan, that could happen. We need effective leadership. We need someone who cares about the city. And today we need a controller in chief. Unfortunately, the mayor doesn't like to talk about crime. You literally don't hear the word come out of her mouth. She'll say public safety all day, but she will never say crime. Why not? Why isn't she showing up? We need a mayor, a leader to show up for us. And at this point, I'm wondering about all our elected officials because they're really hushed on the issues as well. And so this isn't just about the mayor, but she does hold the executive branch. We can talk about the city council all day long, and I have my issues there, but I'm focused on the recall. But the legislative branch creates the laws. The executive branch executes them. And the mayor is the head of the executive branch, and we need her to lead. So for all these reasons and more, and you can go on Latoya.org. We have one of the drop downs. It's called Latoya's List. There's a litany of reasons why we did it. It's probably too long to list now, but I encourage everyone to go on there and kind of take a look and remind yourself. I mean, one of the things that really, sparked a lot of this was when the mayor sat on the side of the carjacker and didn't console the victims. That was a huge eye opener for people because they didn't think she would do that. But I need everyone to do a heart check and realize that the decision-making skills that we thought this mayor has are not working. And we see that across the board in multiple departments because all our departments are on fire. And with that newscast as well, we saw that she literally hasn't had a public safety meeting since 2021. Are you serious? With all of the leaders together, she hasn't met with certain department heads this year. She literally isn't working. That's why New Orleans is crumbling, and we have to take ownership of this as residents, as voters. We need to empower ourselves, and we need to create change. This recall sheet will be in your living rooms next week. You can do it discreetly. There's been retribution across the board from this mayor and this administration. We're putting it in your home. Nobody has to know. All of sign it. The postage is paid. Return it. And this is going to be a real game changer. Recalls haven't been done. People have always said it can't be done, but guess what? We're in a different time. We're using different technology. We're using these QR codes. We're putting it in your living room. You can sign it discreetly and return it. Your voice is necessary in this time. We must speak up. Enough is enough.
Hey, we needed you to speak before the LSU Texas A&M game because you got me fired up here. Tell me this: as far as the mail out, can you explain how that works and what does a person who received it who's interested in the recall, what do they actually have to do? What are the requirements as far as witnesses? Yeah.
I'm so excited you asked this question because it was reported that in Camden. So thanks, Clancy, for that great article. If anyone has a question about what plays out through this, he broke it down spectacularly. But when you receive the sheet in the mail, your name and information will already be printed on there. There is only two things for you to do: print and sign. That's what you need to do, and then you need to get a witness who is in Orleans Parish voter, and they need to sign their signature and date it as well. So the person needs to put their signature and date, and then they need to get a witness to put their signature and date, and that's it. And here's the deal: when you get the sheet, everyone in the household who hasn't signed or needs to sign will have their information printed. If you want to go above and beyond, and they have extra spaces on your sheet, you can do that. You can do that. So we're not just asking you to sign or asking you to, share it with your neighbors if maybe, there's they missed it somehow. We put it in front of your faces. We put it all over TV at this point. We said that we were going to be in your living rooms, and we were systematically doing that. We're doing what we said we were going to do. This, isn't a small feat. Like you said, we are literally grassroots. We started studio, and we are going to be in your living room putting this sheet in front of you. We ask you to take a heart check, look around the city, and do it for your community. You know, don't wait until the crime and the infrastructure woes or the economic development woes or the retaliation hits your doorstep. Do it for your community. You can do this together. We are empowered, and we're making a difference. You see it right now. You know, pressure bus types, right? And you know, honestly, we haven't seen the mayor working this much since the recall started. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I was gonna ask you that question. And you know the mayor. You worked in her administration. Have you seen any behavior modification since the recall petition has been on the board?
Absolutely, and so have residents, and they made comments about it actually in posting things. They're like, we haven't seen the mayor working this much in forever. And you know what? We encourage that. That's what the recall part of it is about. You know, through the process, worst case scenario, you know, she shows up for work. And, you know, that's what we're asking her to do. You know, at this time, you are our leader, and we need you to step up. That's what leaders do in times of crisis. They step up and they lead. Unfortunately, we haven't had that type of leadership in the past. We know it's in her. We've seen it, but it's been a tale of two administrations. And you could have loved her in the first administration, but you know in your heart she is not the leader for this moment at such a time as this. She's not that leader, and she's shown that, unfortunately. We'd love to have the old one back, but it's not happening, and we have to come to that realization. You know, there's this term called cognitive dissonance. No one likes to admit that they were wrong. And I'm telling you, if I have worked for her and have been in comms and have created the social media department for the city of New Orleans, that did not exist. I created her brand. The City of Yes, I created that. PD, I created that. And so if I can do a heart check and have that cognitive dissonance moment of being like, you know what? I was duped, and New Orleans deserves better. I believe that everyone can have that moment and be like, you know what? I love her as a person. She's cool as a person. But you know what? That doesn't mean that she's a good leader for the city. We can love our family members. We know it right now. People are together for Thanksgiving and the holidays. You know, you can love a family member, but that does not mean that they are great in a leadership position. And that's the situation that we're facing. You can love her personally, but that does not make her a good mayor for this time. And that's just what it is. Her leadership ability and skills are not stepping up to the moment that we have, and we need somebody to step up.
You know, it's interesting. You come from a political family, so you understand the dynamics of it. And you know, if you're a politician, the constituents are very, very forgiving. If you say, "Hey, I fell short on this, but I'm going to get after it and make it right." It's very interesting to me that the mayor hasn't done that. They have a recall petition that we're pretty sure is going to succeed. And still, the mayor has not said, hey, I hear what you're saying. I hear there's crime. I hear there's not paved streets. I hear that there's red lights aren't working. I hear that our infrastructure is not there. I'm going to rededicate myself to doing that. Instead, she doubled downs on what she's doing that got us in this mess to begin with. I'm just sort of confounded. Why? Do you have any explanation as to working with her, why she hasn't had this enlightened moment to continue, to maybe do a 180 on these issues?
And I think that's the problem most New Orleans are having, because we are so forgiving. You know, we're the big easy. We're probably one of the most relaxed cities in the world. And when we get to the point where we're like, enough is enough, it has to be really bad. And New Orleans is in a really bad condition. Now, I love the city, and I know we can come back, but we need that moment of attrition, and it's not coming. And that's the thing. Like, you know, when you're in, I mean, everybody's had a bad relationship at some point in their life, whether it's, you know, a partner, a work situation, or whatever. And you have to have that moment, and you're like, you know what, this isn't working. And it's not working. You've been waiting for the mayor to have that moment. You're going to be waiting until 2026 if we don't do this recall, because it's not coming. And that's the moment that people really need to understand. The moment that you want from her, that moment of contrition, it's not coming. So we need to stand and say enough is enough.
Eileen, can you stay with us over the break? Because I think Albert, especially Albert, he's an attorney for the hospitality industry. And he wants to ask you about, talk about a little bit about the business impact of the mayor right now, and how that affects the economy of New Orleans and getting new businesses in there. So we'll be right back after this break. We got Eileen Carter, Executive Director of Recall Latoya, and we'll be right back after this brief timeout on All Things Legal.
Saints 49ers. Under pressure, Dalton throws it to the middle of the field looking for Olave, who makes the catch. And see Atlanta by Chris Olave. Looking, throws to the middle, and that is going to be dropped. And that is going to be a touchdown for the tight end.
Saints in San Francisco today, 3:25 on WWL.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again. Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple
Talk
of
about
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's code HUGE. Use code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill up. Cashback available. Gas in Jersey, Wisconsin.
Some people bring joy wherever they go. Some whenever they go. Mark Twain found humor all around. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Humor. Pass it on from passiton.com.
Hey folks, Bobby Aver, KJ Cannon here. Look, now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with the promo code ABEAR. What I like about FanDuel is FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money lines to point spreads to player props. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same-game parlay. With live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started, and you get your winnings paid fast. All in an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So sign up today with the promo code ABEAR. That's HEBERT for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code ABEAR. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL and WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable. Free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Todd is in love. Sarah, I've never felt this way before. But he's about to find out that sometimes when you chase after love,
It's Paris.
you've got to step on the gas. Because this isn't your classic holiday rom-com. It's a Nissan event bag. Wait, what? Featuring a powerful performance by Nissan Rogue. Oh, come on.
Todd?
I'm coming with you.
Now make no payments until February 2023 on select vehicles.
Get your heart racing at Nissan's Thrill of the Drive event.
Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com.
Don't let true love or these offers slip away.
Up to 90 day delivery options available in person eligible Nissan vehicle from your certified pre-owned stock and finance with Android Free excludes sales lease tax title license. Subject to credit approval and maximum term limits. Delayed payment must be paid back in 90 days from the date of the contract. Approval purchase committed from the date of the contract and consumers responsible for payment of the interest. Delayed payments are only allowed in Pennsylvania if there are 0% dealer participation in dairy. Contact 1-888-588-219 for a list of eligible vehicles. See dealer for details and the line 3022.
Little Jenna check, little Sheldon check, little... Oh, hey kids, Santa here. Sorry, just checking the list. Hey, I sure hope you'll come see me at the Children's Hospital New Orleans Holiday Parade. There'll be over 20 floats and balloons so big they fill up the sky. Wow! We roll Saturday, December 3rd at 11 a.m. Go to NOLAHolidayParade.com for all the details. And a special thanks to Kern Studios in the Downtown Development District. Hope to see you there.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the York Woodhart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, here with guest Eileen Carter, Executive Director of Recall Latoya. I think Albert's got some questions regarding the hospitality industry and why a change needs to be made.
I represent a number of restaurants, a number of venues, both in the city of New Orleans, Jefferson, and other areas. And in terms of we've got a hospitality foundation, and so I'm very involved with that. And it goes back to a lot of the COVID things that happened. A lot of us wanted to file. We wanted to file an equal protection problem. The case against the city and the mayor for singling out restaurants and hospitality venues for, restrictions where, the city hall and One Shell Square and everybody else didn't have those same restrictions. And a lot of my clients were telling me, you know what, we'd love to do it. We think you're right. The problem is, we'll have the Board of Health in our restaurant every day looking at a piece of something on the floor and giving us citations for it. So she's vindictive, and that's what she's going to do. And this is playing out in what we see of her personality now. Just like Doug said, she doubles down on her nonsense. I'm working hard for the city every day. Well, the records prove that you're not. And the videos show you watering your plants at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon at an apartment that's not even yours. It's paid for by the city, and your salary is paid for by the city, and the police officer's salary is paid for by the city, supposedly working 12 hours that day. And all of these things that are getting exposed, and now she's hiding and running and won't answer questions about it. When she does answer questions, she talks in circles and says, I'm doing the hard work of the city. I'm doing the work. I work every day. And again, like Doug said, I don't think she's going to have a contrite moment where she's going to say, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm going to do better. And bear with me. We'll get through this. None of that. So I think that's part of her personality. Or maybe it's just indefensible. Maybe she's like, you know what? How do you defend this? I just have to, say things over and over. And maybe people start believing it. But I know that I've spoken to so many people in the hospitality industry, and some of them have met privately with her in a group, and tried to explain the problems and the issues they were having. French Quarter, especially, with just the crime and the vagrancy and just everything that's going on in the quarter, when it used to be a real fun, nice place for tourists to be and spend a lot of money, right, which is the lifeblood of their city. Now all of a sudden it's turning into some of the streets in San Francisco where you just have people passed out all over the place, and nobody down there really spending money. They're just kind of walking around causing trouble, and then you've got gangs back and forth shooting at each other. I'm betting $1 to 100 that it's the shooting last night was a gang related issue with 5 people shot. Those are the things that we need to address, and it's almost as if, especially when she got in the courtroom and sided with the carjacker, it's almost as if she's siding with the people that are not contributing to our society, the people that are making our society a worse place to live. And I know for the hospitality industry, they're reluctant to say do anything about it or call her out on it because they're worried about retaliation, because that's her vindictive nature to go ahead and use her power and her influence to fight back and maybe even put you out of business.
Exactly. It's crazy because, well, number one, I do want to thank the hospitality industry because, to be perfectly honest, the Restaurant Association was one of the first associations to speak out and to help us in this recall. So I really want to thank you all for speaking out. And I have to give a shout out. I know y'all may not know this, but there was a gentleman named Mr. Ambrose, Daniel Ambrose. He owns the Half Shell restaurant. He has talked to the hospitality industry, led in that arena for a while, and he was going to host an event at his restaurant, just an education event. It wasn't even about signing a recall, just a lot of people were having the conversation in his restaurant. And so we were, he posted that he was going to have us there. His landlord, the McKennas, immediately called him and told him to take it down and cancel the event. He did. The next day, he was met with a 5-day eviction notice and a temporary restraining order. This is not a joke. We did go to court with him. Justice is prevailing. I'll leave it like that. I don't want to get all into the specifics of that. That'll be for him to say. But justice is prevailing. So even though they tried with retaliation, it's not working because we are empowered and we know our rights. And retaliation is a very real thing. It had been done behind the scenes a lot. Now we see it in the news. It's a part of her personality and leadership style that people, kind of whispered. It was the elephant in the room, but now people are speaking up. And that's my thing. If we all speak up at the same time, she can't retaliate against the whole city. Well, let me take that back. She tried by trying to take away Mardi Gras, right? That was retaliation. I mean, we're laughing, but it's true. She really said that. She really did. It made international news. And so this is the type of leadership we're dealing with. And so if we want something different, we need to take a different approach. And how do you take that bully? You have to be honest and you have to tell the truth to the bully. And it needs to be by a large crowd. And so that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a bully situation, and we all need to speak up and tell the truth. And to say that you have business owners, families who've been in the city who are scared to speak up because of retaliation from the mayor, like that's a terrible way to lead the city. That's a terrible way for New Orleanians to live. And we're better than that.
Right.
We absolutely are. And I'm not afraid. The only person I fear is the Lord. And so, we all need to get in that mindset and to speak up for ourselves and others. And so I do appreciate the hospitality industry stepping up.
And I wanted to tell you.
Kudos to Mark Robert. He was one of the first ones out there. I was a little surprised, but very proud of him at Robert's grocery, where he had
the signing party.
Signed up and people lined up in all of his locations, not just the Lakeview, but all of his locations. And there was a desk there being manned by anyone who wants to come sign the petition for recall, because he's tired and it's his city. Let me tell you, my children were born in New Orleans. They're 8th generation Nicauds born in New Orleans, and it saddens me to see. We were here before the Louisiana Purchase was signed, right? And it saddens me to see that our city that I've known and loved, was born here, went to school here. It saddens me to see what's happening, and you feel almost helpless. And it's honestly people like you that have
Amen.
Take the bull by the horn.
Amen. Amen.
And thank you for your courage and your efforts.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Eileen, also, I told this anecdote about businesses. We had to write in a personnel manual for a company that does sales in South Louisiana, for them that it is a offense to get gas in a non-emergency situation in Orleans Parish, because they travel all over Louisiana and they say, get your gas in St. Jefferson and St. Tammany Parish. And I tried to convey that story on, the unfriendly, I guess you need businesses in New Orleans to thrive, because a rising tide raises all boats. And, a lot of in New Orleans is very unique because you get a lot of those left brain businesses here. If it's safe, you'd have the tech people who are attracted to San Francisco and, who are sort of, in non-traditional businesses where, it involves creativity, the IT business. And, all you need to do is have a little safety and they're going to come. And that's the number one factor, the safety and the infrastructure that's keeping these businesses from really, bringing some high-powered, jobs to Orleans Parish.
Exactly. And unfortunately, right now we see an exodus. That was literally the verbiage that I believe NOLA.com used a couple months ago in their article. We're having an exodus of businesses and residents. And it's very unfortunate because the leadership won't speak to it. They won't speak to anything. They just kind of, sweep things under the rug and act like it's not happening. Close your eyes and, it's just supposed to disappear. But that's not the world we live in. We are living in New Orleans. The residents are feeling it in their everyday quality of life. And, that's funny because that's what the mayor said that she was going to come in and change our quality of life, hit the low-hanging fruit. Well, Mayor, crime is out of control, infrastructure is out of control, businesses are leaving, residents are leaving. What are you doing?
We're going to take a break. Eileen, when we get back on the other side, I want you to give us the mechanics of people who want to vote, the different ways, or to sign the recall petition, the different ways they can do that, or if they want to get involved, we'll talk about that so you can get all that information out there so we can make it, so that they can exercise their rights and their voices. So we'll be right back with Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, with special guest Eileen Carter from Recall Latoya. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
If you love the Noel Norman Show and want to hear more conservative views like yours, don't miss Red Meat Roundup, a brand new Odyssey podcast that drops every Friday. You'll hear views from across the U.S. about politics, crime, law and order, and more, rounded up in an assortment of the tastiest bits of conservative talk. Red Meat Roundup. Check it out now at WWL.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-4180 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
Some people bring joy wherever they go, some whenever they go. Mark Twain found humor all around. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Humor. Pass it on from passiton.com.
Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with promo code Garrick. That's G-A-R-I-C. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line, point spreads, to player props. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same-game parlay. Plus, you get your winnings paid super fast. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So sign up with promo code Garrett for your no-sweat first bet. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. That's promo code Garrett, G-A-R-I-C. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL and WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable. Free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
This winter, make the year's shortest days the most enjoyable in a Cadillac. Pursue your boldest ambitions in a Cadillac SUV, or lead the way with the dynamic performance of a Cadillac sedan. So seize the season with a resolution to be iconic, because when the days are at their shortest, it's on us to make them the fullest. Visit your Louisiana Coastal Cadillac dealer.
Hi, this is John from the Silver Slipper Casino, and I'm here to let you know about a very special gift giveaway going on here. Right now, when you play any of our sponsored table games any day in the months of October, November, or December, you'll qualify to win a Solo Stove Smokeless Portable Fire Pit at 7 p.m. that evening. This fire pit is perfect for those cool evenings when you're sitting outside, you want a little heat and a little light. Just fire it up anywhere you go. We're on the beach here in Hancock County, Silver Slipper Casino. Proud to be your host on the coast.
Have a good time at the Silver Slipper.
Get incredible Black Friday deals now at Bed Bath & Beyond. Up to 60% off hundreds of special offers, no coupon needed. 25% off everything else. This weekend only at Bed Bath & Beyond. Expires November 27th. Exclusions apply. See website for details.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yeah, that's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's code HUGE. Use code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill up. Cashback is available on gas in Jersey, Wisconsin.
Throughout the 60s and 70s, cops hunted down key figures of the Dixie Mafia, including its enigmatic ringleader, Kirksey Nix.
I'm interested in making money. I'm not interested in hurting people.
15 years into Kirksey's life sentence, the Dixie Mafia was practically folklore, but that would soon change. I'm Jed Lipinski. This is Gone South, a documentary podcast from C13 Original, a Cadence 13 studio. Season 2, The Dixie Mafia. Available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Open House Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud with Eileen Carter, Executive Director of Recall Latoya. We're getting toward the end of the hour. Eileen, thank you for staying with us on Sunday morning. We appreciate you indulging us. Tell us if Arlene Parish residents, the different ways they can either A, fill out a ballot, or B, support the cause.
Wonderful. NoLatoya.org is your one-stop shop for everything. Everyone who is an Orleans Parish voter is eligible to sign the recall. And let me repeat that. Everyone who is an Orleans Parish voter is eligible to sign the recall. And your signature must be handwritten. We know that there was one that was put out with like 5,000 signatures online. If that's what you did, it is not relevant. It must be handwritten on one of the recall sheets from the Secretary of State. We will be mailing them out this week. We are mailing over 138,000. Let me repeat that. 138,000 recall seats out to Orleans Parish voters. We only need a percentage of that to come back for us to make this happen. So we're asking everyone to do a heart check that reaches your living room and sign the recall and return it. The postage is already paid. You just need to sign it and date it. Have an Orleans Parish voter witness it, sign it and date it, put it back in the envelope, and return it. There will be instructions in the envelope to literally walk you through the process. It's going to take all of us, and you can find all of this information again at NoLatoya.org. NoLatoya.org.
Let me ask you, Eileen, real quickly, how many do we need, and how far along are we, how close are we before this mail-out effort begins?
Sure, we need approximately 54,000 signatures, 53,000, blah, blah, blah. We're looking for more than that because we want to make sure that we put an exclamation point on this. We currently, well, not currently, because we have a little bit more now, but a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we did a press conference where we had 35%. We have not done a large count since then because honestly, I've just been preparing for this mailer and it's more work than you think.
Yeah.
And so to get all this. Yeah, to get it inputted so we can, know who signed, who hasn't checked signatures. If there was any inconsistency in your signature or maybe we couldn't read it, you will be receiving it as well. We want to make sure that this is done properly by the book. We have talked to the Secretary of State. We do have legal advice. We're doing everything that we have to do on our end. We just need the residents to show up, care about their community. And if you are a voter, you are eligible to sign this recall. There's been a lot of misinformation with regard to that. If the mayor's people, I'll put it that way, I've had NOPD, I've had different departments of public works, North State, trying to go lose my job. That is not possible. That is retaliation, and it is against the law for that to happen. I just want you to understand that directly.
Now, if there's a lot of people who live in the outlying parishes who can't vote, but could probably contribute to the cause, how could they do that?
You can donate on nolatoya.org. We really need you. All of our billboards, our signs, we do have new shirts coming out, black and gold, and with those donations, that's how we keep everything up. We really appreciate your support. You can also, host an event. You can't sign it, but you can help host an event. We do have some business owners who are in the French Quarter who hosted an event, even though they didn't live in New Orleans. And we had an absolute wonderful turnout because they invited all of their friends and family to come to the event. So there are many ways to do it. Even if you can't physically sign, we still need your support. New Orleans does affect the greater New Orleans area, and we literally are all in this together. So we appreciate everyone's donations, volunteers, time, support, prayers. We take it all, and you can find all the information again at nolatoya.org.
I think most great movements in the United States have been from the bottom up and not top down. Which one of the things that you have learned from this bottom up process that you've been spearheading in the recall that you maybe didn't expect, or something that was, nice to learn about your city?
We have more in common than we do have
Amen.
differences.
Amen.
To play party lines, but we have so much in common, and we're very unified. We have people who are no party, libertarians, independents, Republicans, Democrats. We are all working together for one thing. When did you ever think that was going to happen? But that's the truth. The libertarian group has been very helpful. They host lots of parties on a regular basis, recall parties weekly, actually. And that they aren't talked about enough. They like to call this a Democratic Republican thing, but we have libertarians, no parties, independents, really helping move this forward. And what we've done is we've partnered with groups, and I think that's the thing. We have more in common than we do differences, and if we focus on those things and build a better quality of life, we can make a change for everyone in the community.
Preach it, preach it. Okay, one more time. If anybody needs to contact you about Recall Latoya, just give us one more shout out.
Please reach out to us, nolatoya.org. There's an email on there. You can email us. Our PO box information is there if you want to, send us a letter of support, send a check if you don't want to do it online. All the information is right there at nolatoya.org. We can do this together. We are stronger together, and I just want residents to know that they're empowered, and we can, get the apathy and move forward and walk into a new world together.
Eileen, Albert, and I want to extend a personal thanks for what you're doing, contributing to the city, and anything that we can do, call in. You got open lines with us at any time. So thank you very much, and you have a beautiful Sunday. It's a beautiful day out there, and enjoy, and Merry Christmas to you, Eileen. If I don't talk to you and your family before Christmas, so God bless. Thanks so much, Eileen. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
WWL, home of all things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Todd is in love. Sarah, I've never felt this way before, but he's about to find out that sometimes when you chase after love,
I know it's Paris.
you've got to step on the gas, because this isn't your classic holiday rom-com. It's a Nissan event bag. Wait, what? Featuring a powerful performance by Nissan Rose.
Come on. Todd?
I'm coming with you.
Now make no payments until February 2023 on select vehicles.
Get your heart racing at Nissan's Thrill of the Drive event.
Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com.
Don't let true love or these offers slip away.
Up to 7 days away payment options available when purchasing eligible Nissan vehicle from new certified premium staff and finance through NAC excludes sale of used tax title license. Subject to credit approval and maximum term limit. Delayed payment must be paid back in 90 days from the date of the contract. Accrual of interest from the contract and consumers responsible for payment of accrued interest. Delayed payments are only allowed in Pennsylvania.
All right, when we get back from this commercial break, like we have about a good, safe 2 minutes.
Okay.
Turn along into a win with BetMGM. Place a one-game parlay wager with at least 4 legs on any pro football game. If all legs of the parlay hit but one, you'll get your stake back in free bets up to $25. Log into your account or download the app and sign up with BetMGM to take advantage of this offer all season long. Just opt into the one-game parlay insurance promotion. Then place a one-game parlay wager with 4 legs or more on any pro football game. If you miss miss on only one leg on your wager, you'll receive up to $25 back in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions.
21 years of age or older to wager. Louisiana only. New and existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or stock credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in partnership with Sandsdown Shreveport Casino.
So how many adjusters has your insurance company assigned to your Hurricane Ida claim? 3, 4, 5? Has your adjuster stopped returning your calls? How many of your emails have been ignored? If this all sounds too familiar, then maybe it's time for you to take the next step. This is Albert Nicaud with the Nicaud and Sunseri law firm in Metairie. You paid homeowners insurance premiums for years, and you deserve to be paid what you're entitled to. When you finally had enough, call me, Albert Nicaud, at 504-837-1304. I'm ready to help you finally get your claim paid.
Do you have a secret? Jewels, precious metals, stock, cash, paintings, or guns that you'd like to store secretly and securely, and only you have access? Other than the Swiss banks, there's only one place. The Security Center at Rondelet and Commons in New Orleans. 522-1254.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call
back in 30 seconds.
Okay.
800-256-4180 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
Some people bring joy wherever they go, some whenever they go. Mark Twain songs, you were all around. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Sure, pass it on from passiton.com.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. Got a couple of minutes. We're going to go to hour number 3 after national news, local news in a couple of minutes. We'll be on till 11 o'clock. Albert, got a couple of texts in response to Eileen's last hour. It said, I signed the recall, loaded the U-Haul, and moved out of state. God bless what you're doing. I'll come home when New Orleans heals. Another text, came to the city last night for a wedding at Lakefront Airport. Leaving with about 5 others, we heard gunshots and all ducked behind vehicles. That's pretty, like Eileen was saying, we're just used to it. We and Eileen's trying to say this is not normal. Yeah. We have a lot of functions, and we're just talking about, we spend, I know Michelle and I will spend 4 or 5 weekends in New Orleans, staycations. We'll spend the weekend, go down Friday, maybe for a Saints game, and stay to Sunday afternoon. And, we don't do that anymore. And there's a lot of people who say, hey, I'd like to spend some time, go downtown from North Shore, spend a couple $100 eating. They don't want to do that. They're just, they're just scared. I mean, they're saying it's just not worth it. We'll just stay on the North Shore. Yeah.
Rightfully so. I'll go to Jefferson Parish. I'll go to St. Tammany Parish. I'll go to St. Bernard Parish. Wherever. But I'm not going to go where there's a high chance of losing my life or getting my car broken into. And it's just not. It's not how I want to end my night. My life.
And also too, we were working on a deal for a business in New Orleans, and the investors backed out for one reason only. It was in Orleans Parish and safety concerns. Otherwise, they were good to go. So, all right, hour number 3, we'll take your calls. We'll probably talk about a little Hurricane Ida updates, and so we'll be on till 11 o'clock. So stay tuned. National news, local news. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for hour number 3 of all things legal. Oh.
Hey. I'm Peter King in Orlando. Time to hit the road again. Most of the people who went someplace for Thanksgiving weekend are headed home right now. WCBS TV's Kevin Rincon is along the Jersey Turnpike in Richfield, New Jersey.
We've seen license plates from up and down the East Coast here at this rest stop.
I'm just happy we're almost home.
For Tanya, this quick pit stop, the last one before getting back. She's been in the car for more than 12 hours after spending the Thanksgiving holiday with her son and grandkids down in North Carolina.
National Weather Service meteorologist Mark Chenard says rain could slow some people down.
If you're driving, say, from Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, Mid-Atlantic into the southeastern U.S., not really expecting flooding rain, but, just a combination of increased cars on the road and rainy weather.
Heavy snow and below freezing temperatures at the story in Kyiv, where millions of people in and around Ukraine's capital are without heat or light. Relentless Russian bombing knocked out much of the country's power, and the UN is promising help. Humanitarian aid coordinator Jens Lerka.
We and our partners are supporting the authorities with generators to critical facilities such as hospitals and schools. Nearly 400 generators have already been delivered by UN agencies, and thousands more are in the pipeline.
There's been some debate on whether the U.S. should keep sending weapons support to Ukraine. Republican Michael McCall is a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. He tells ABC's This Week good reason to send long-range weapons there.
Well, give them what they need, they win. If we don't, it's going to be a long, protracted war.
At the World Cup, Morocco's goalkeeper showed up for the national anthem before a match with Belgium, then disappeared before the game. Moroccan TV says he just wasn't feeling well. There's a protest involving the U.S. and Iran.
I'm Roxana Severi in Doha, where the U.S. men's soccer team has removed the Islamic Republic of Iran emblem from the center of Iran's official flag on its posts on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The flag now bears only its green, white, and red stripes. The U.S. plays Iran at the World Cup on Tuesday as anti-regime protests in Iran show no signs of slowing.
Just under 3.5 hours ago,
Dragon contact and soft capture.
A special delivery as a cargo Dragon spacecraft docked with the International Space Station with 7,700 pounds of experiments and supplies, including some Thanksgiving treats. Bad weather at the Cape delayed the launch and arrival until after the holiday. And NASA's Orion moonship is close to the halfway point of its mission, nearly 270,000 miles from Earth. That's the farthest that a human-rated spacecraft has ever gone. This is CBS News.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance yours, Rocket Mortgage can help you get there. For home loan solutions that fit your life, Rocket can.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary. Oil keeps going up as the Russia conflict escalates. If you're an SEC accredited investor, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's projects. The U.S. government is allowing you to write off nearly 100% of your investment in the first year. Goldman Sachs is projecting oil to go up to $100 a barrel. Call 800-278-7455. Call now and learn how to create 20 or more years of potential monthly income. Call 800-278-7455.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? Get off the endless debt treadmill and start saving money each month. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Call Total Financial now at 800-208-1312. 800-208-1312.
WWL First News. I'm Dave Cohen. I'm your official weather station, WWL.
Today's featuring plenty of sunshine with our daytime highs climbing into the lower 70s. No rain in the forecast today, which will be nice. Will give many of us opportunity to dry out.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Yesterday afternoon, a tornado touched down in St. Charles Parish, tearing apart part of Parody.
Parish President Matthew Jewell said that there are no injuries reported and that the parish's emergency operations center had a big role in that.
We're very blessed to have those sirens in St. Charles Parish, and we are very adamant about using them when we have inclement weather or other types of emergencies.
It was those sirens that sent Pastor Joseph Zien into the St. John the Baptist Catholic Church as the tornado hit. The storm blew out his car window and flipped the trailer he's been living in since Hurricane Ida. But as soon as the tornado passed, help arrived. A crowd of parishioners came to get his trailer upright and clear the debris inside and outside the church.
WWL TV's Sam Wingstrom. LSU suffered its third loss of the season last night at Texas A&M.
They'll storm the field as Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher and LSU their third defeat on the year. Horn sounds, this one's in the books. Aggies 38, Fighting Tigers 23.
Tigers now face number 1 ranked Georgia in the SEC Championship this coming Saturday. They're going to win, likely not with them in the college football playoff. Now they have 3 losses. Bullets were flying early this morning on Bourbon Street. New Orleans police say just before 2 a.m. someone opened fire. When it was over, 2 female and 3 male victims were taken to the hospital with what cops call not life-threatening injuries. It comes after violence yesterday at the corner of Canal and Bourbon, where a man was shot. That was one of 5 people shot in just about 3 hours in the city on Saturday evening. Here's Charlie Long with WWL Sports.
This WWL Sports Update is brought to you by TrainSouth.com. The Sports Update. Last night, disaster struck in College Station for the LSU Tigers. Here's the snap. Give to Henry. Nope. Daniel's going to keep, and he lost the ball. Going to be picked up by the Aggies, running the other way. Damani Richardson will take it in for the score, and Texas A&M back on top. A rare miscue by Jaden Daniels. After entering halftime down 17-10 to Texas A&M, the Tigers tied the game, got a stop, and had the ball back looking to take the lead, but that scoop and score by the Aggies was the total momentum swing. It sparked a run of 21 unanswered points that ended up being the difference in a 38-23 loss for LSU. The Tigers fell in their final trap game ahead of this Saturday's SEC Championship game. Hopefully the 4-7 New Orleans Saints can pull off an upset against the 6-4 San Francisco 49ers in their Week 12 matchup. The 49ers have been on a roll recently, winning 3 straight, but the Saints will look to stop that streak while starting their own this afternoon in San Francisco. Kickoff is set for 3:25 p.m., and you can listen to pregame, live game, and postgame coverage here on Saints Radio, WWL. Charlie Long, WWL Sports.
And your Garcia roofing forecast.
No rain in the forecast today, so if you have any outdoor plans, we're looking at a pretty nice day ahead. We'll see a daytime high, winds to lower 70s under sunny conditions, with our winds out of the west between 5 to 10. Tonight looks nice too, quiet. We'll see a few clouds here and there, with our overnight temperature falling into the upper 50s. On Monday, expect mostly cloudy skies, temperatures reaching the lower 70s, no rain in the forecast, and it looks like Monday night looking dry too. As we go through your Tuesday will be a dry start to the day. We'll continue to see our clouds increase ahead of a frontal boundary that is going to bring scattered showers and thunderstorms to the area as we go through your Tuesday night. For the local weather at the Forecast Center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
I'm Dave Cohen, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news talk sports powerhouse in the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back for hour number 3. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We're on till 11 o'clock because the Saints take on the 49ers in San Francisco this afternoon. Game coverage starts at 10 a.m. First take, Steve Geller and Jeff Nowak. At 1 p.m., Bobby Hebert and Christian Garrick and Mike Detillier, the Bud Light. Countdown to kickoff. Game time is 3:25 with Deuce and Mike. Turn down the sound and turn up Deuce and Mike Hoss. Deuce, the Moose and the Deuce and the Moose, right? Albert, okay, we were sort of jam-packed today with guests, but I wanted to elaborate on this. You said book it. The Saints are going to win today. I want to find out why.
Well, let me tell you, I think our quarterback play has improved substantially. I think they're getting more and more comfortable with it. He had 149.5 quarterback rating last week. It just goes unnoticed because, he's made some bad passes, thrown some interceptions. I think Dalton's stepping up, and he's putting the team in position to win the game. There were 5 players that were questionable. Questionable means they will likely play. So if we can get our defensive line in order with Cam Jordan and Davenport, all of a sudden, and they even were talking about maybe a quarterback playing, So if that all happens, all of a sudden, we're a pretty good team. And we're not the same team that we've been, struggling and failing and, people taking advantage of our weaknesses.
Okay.
That's what good coaches do. We're like, where's the mismatch? Where's the weakness right now? We're going to take advantage of that. But when you got a bench player starting because they have to, and he's not a stud like our starter is, then you're going to have some breakdowns. You're going to have some issues. But I think, look, San Francisco's on a bit of a roll lately, but they've only won 6 games. They've lost 4. So it's not like they're world beaters. And I just think this is a trap game for them. They're thinking,
Trap. Yeah.
Undivisional game for them. I like to think champion.
So you would say, but if you were Buddy D, you said take the 8 points, take the 8.5, and the Saints. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think they went straight up.
If you bet the money line, you'd bet $34 to win 10. So there you go. I think the formula here on out is 70% Dalton, 30% Taysom. I also now, if the Saints do win and they get to 5-7, then that division is so bad that they're in the conversation again. Now, I mean,
it's a bigger game for the Saints than it is for the 49ers.
Yeah.
And so, it's all about coaching and getting them up for the right games, right? And if it's explained to them, hey, look, we're one win away, like you said, from being in that conversation, for all of a sudden having a chance, to really realistically make the postseason.
Well, I think the thing that if the Saints are going to make it interesting, and by no means am I saying that that's probably going to happen, but if they're going to make it interesting, the 3 things that they need to do is 1, turnovers. 2, their high-priced players need to start playing according to their salary. You have a lot of the higher-priced players, the Camaras, the Jordans, the Lattimores. They're performing okay, but they're not performing superstar as if they're being in accordance with their salary. And the problem with the Saints organizationally is the credit card is now due. Every year they were deferring their salary cap to the following year. It's like getting a new credit card, saying you're buying another 12 months to pay off your debt. But the reckoning is coming, and that's part of the reason they traded C.J. Gardner was because they couldn't afford him, and they need some draft picks. So the reckoning is coming, but you can make it interesting. And in the playoffs, you start all over again. And I don't even want to say the playoff word. There are 3 games. They got to win 3 more games in a row before we could even seriously talk about that. But if you're in the playoffs, you start a new season, anything can happen. And I don't think this team has, is going to make it. And I don't think even if they did, they wouldn't. I don't think they would be able to do much in the playoffs. But but let's see. We'll make it interesting. If you ask me after the Florida, yeah.
And they've got 3 more games left against division rivals.
Right. They can make up a lot of ground. Yeah.
They can win those 3, right? And
yeah.
So there's no reason why they can't get in there and make a playoff run. But I think it starts today. I think you get a little too far behind unless everybody else in the division loses today. But yeah, I mean, getting the players back. I mean, they're still a little bit soft on the offensive line. They've got some injuries there, but But you know, those guys are getting better and they're getting more comfortable with each other. And I mean, if we can get a little running game going offensively, I think if we get our defensive players back, and
Well,
they're not doubtful, they're questionable. And so if they come back and play,
yeah,
you know, all of a sudden we can win a close, low-scoring game.
yeah. Tampa plays Cleveland Browns, and Tampa's they're a warm weather team. I don't. I'll check the weather in Cleveland, and also the Falcons play. Shoot, I just had it. The Falcons are playing the Commanders, so you know that's who else to pull for. But the division's so bad, and I don't think Tom Brady won a lucky game against the Rams. I don't know that he's going to finish strong. I think he's in danger of any time falling off the cliff. You know, as far as diminishing skills at 45 years old. So you never know. You never know. But all right. So I wanted to change direction for the next 45 minutes. You know, a lot of what we talked about for the last year and couple of months is Hurricane Ida. Albert, any new updates you want to talk about for the listeners who have, Ida claims?
More than anything else, we're going to be getting more than anything else. Is people have gotten their money, right? Or some of their money or most of their money, whatever the case may be. And now they're hiring contractors. And the contractors don't know what they're doing. They're not coming back to finish. They're not, they're messing this up, messing that up. And people are calling me with all of these questions about, okay, what do I do? How can I terminate this guy? He's asking me for more money, but, he's not even close to finishing the first half of the work. And so how do I deal with that? What do I do? And the biggest answer is you've got to have the right contract going in, right? So there's a couple of things people have to know from a legal perspective. Number one, a contract is the law between the parties. So if you sign a contract, that contract becomes law between you and the person you signed the contract with. And so the courts are going to interpret that contract just as it's written, if it's clear and unambiguous. And so even if it's slanted so much in favor of the contractor, which most of their contracts will be, the courts are going to say, look, it's not the duty of the court to get somebody out of a bad deal they make. The function of the court is to interpret a contract as it is written. So you need to make sure on the front end going in that your contract with your contractor is at least fair and protects you and gives you some protections and some outs in the event that they're not meeting up with their side of the bargain, right? So many of these contracts, you don't see any provision in there for a completion date, right? So what that does is that gives them the opportunity to go out and make money, make hay while the sun shines, right? I'm going to go get 50 contracts because, 50 houses in this neighborhood need to be fixed up. Well, I don't have the subcontractors or the support or the whatever to handle 50 contracts, but I'm going to sign everybody up. They're just going to have to wait till I can get to it because they're locked in with me to a contract. So that's the mentality of these contractors, and they think, oh yeah, we can, we'll lock them up and then they can't terminate. Well, keep in mind, you can terminate any contractor at any time. The question is, are you doing it for cause? And if you're doing it for cause, then you can terminate them without any repercussion. If you're not doing it for cause, if it's the reason, they're doing a great job and everything, just want to get rid of them, then there may be some penalty issues, there may be some things in the contract. You might have to owe them their profits, for instance, even if you do terminate them. So there are a lot of things you need to deal with. If you want your contract reviewed, you can call us, we can do that for you. And there's some things of a draw schedule. You know, you don't give them 50% up front because then they're not coming back. They got after your money, they've done zero of the work. So, you know, so there are a lot of things you need to think about, and you know, we'll be happy to help you with that.
Yeah. What are, I guess, some of the things that you see that a lot of contracts are lacking to protect the homeowner? What provisions do you see most often?
Well, first and foremost is you know, the pricing might be one thing. You know, again, I get it. Look, we represent a lot of contractors as well. We put provisions in those contracts that protect the contractor in the event of a you know, price increase, a substantial price increase in materials. You know, they don't want to quote a fixed contract price, and then all of a sudden the materials went up 30%. I mean, they're not in it to lose money, and you know, as a homeowner, you need to understand that. So, you know, that's been happening a lot with some of these contracts that nobody just thought to put it into a contract and, you know, anticipate that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the issues. Another issue is a draw schedule, right? You want to make sure that your payments, your scheduled payments, are done with certain milestones, right? So let's say your house had to be gutted, right? Well, as soon as you get a rough-in inspection, a past rough-in inspection for your plumbing and electrical, then you owe me X, Y, Z, and you figure out those percentages and you work those out. And then, you know, next thing when you got to okay to close the walls, when they close the walls and the sheetrock's done, okay, we'll get another one for that. And then when the painting's done and the flooring's done, and you want to withhold 5 or 10% until the punch list is completed. It's because you'll never get them back if you pay them 100% and they still have things to do. You know, now they're reputable contractors that have been in business a long time, and I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about a lot of those carpetbaggers that are coming in from all different states, and they're trying to get this work done. You know, people would call me and ask me, hey, look, you know, should I sue this guy? What do I need to do? Where is he? Where to go? Yeah, he's from Georgia. I'm like, you'll spend all this money trying to sue this guy to collect this money back, and then you got to be trying to collect it in Georgia if he's got it. You know, a lot of these guys have a cell phone and a truck. They have no tools. They have nothing. They hire subcontractors to do their work, and then, you know, they form this LLC, and then, oh, sorry, the LLC's out of money and they're calling. And unfortunately, that's the sad reality after a storm. People are just desperate to get back in their homes. And so, you know, the good, reputable, Louisiana licensed long-term contractors that are here are usually very, very booked up. And so you've got to find somebody to get the work done. And unfortunately, you know, you're kind of stuck at the mercy of these folks that you have nothing, you know nothing about. They have no track record here. Many of them aren't even licensed. And, you know, it's unfortunate, you know, and that's just the landscape right now. And it was the landscape after Katrina. But you know, the best thing you can do is at least try to protect yourself in terms of holding on to your money throughout the progress of the job.
Yeah.
To where you're not overpaid. The other thing you want to make sure you get is lien waivers. Basically, you're going to get all your subs to sign a lien waiver that I'll pay you, which means they've agreed that they can't lien the job because they've been paid by you.
Yeah.
And so those are the things you want to, you know, definitely protect yourself on. And there's a myriad of other things.
That's right. So the bottom line is, if you paid 50% to an out-of-state contractor and he's not coming back or not returning your calls, it's not a good situation. You want to stay out of those.
No, unfortunately, yeah. So protect yourself from that on the front end.
All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
If you just can't get enough black and gold.
On the phone line, we have
Another Eileen, Amanda Bill.
Okay.
Talk about name changes on profit.
Fans who
Okay.
need that extra dose of in-depth analysis, exclusive audio, and beat-by-beat breakdowns of every moment of every game. The Inside Black and Gold podcast with Steve Geller and Jeff Nowak available now, with new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the free Odyssey app and anywhere you get your podcasts. Get Inside Black and Gold today.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's code HUGE. Use code HUGE for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill up. Cashback's eligible. Gas in Jersey, Wisconsin.
Bobby Abear, KG Cannon here. Look, football fans, big difference at Thanksgiving to remember with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because when you bet an NFL same-game parlay from now through November the 28th, all customers get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose. Just bet an NFL SGP or SGP Plus of at least $20. The bigger you bet, the more you'll get back in free bets. NFL same-game parlays are a perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a larger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular SGPs pre-built for you and FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, get up to $100 in free bets, win or lose, when you bet an NFL same-game parlay of 4 legs or more. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with the promo code ABEAR. That's HEBERT. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets and expires 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Todd is in love. Sarah, I've never felt this way before. But he's about to find out that sometimes when you chase after love,
I know his parents.
you've got to step on the gas. Because this isn't your classic holiday rom-com. It's a Nissan event bag. Wait, what? Featuring a powerful performance by Nissan Rogue. Oh, come on.
Todd?
I'm coming with you.
Then make no payments until February 2023 on select vehicles.
Get your heart racing at Nissan's Thrill of the Drive event.
Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com.
Don't let true love or these offers slip away.
Up to 90 days away options available when you purchase an eligible Nissan vehicle from your certified premium stock and finance with NMHC excludes dealer fees, tax, title, and license. Subject to credit approval and maximum credit limit. Delayed payment must be made after 90 days from the date of the contract. Accrual interest from the date of the contract. And consumers responsible for payment of other interest. Delayed payments are only allowed in Pennsylvania. APR 0%. Dealer participation may vary. Contact 1-888-588-219 for listed eligible vehicles or see dealer for details after 11/30/22.
Hey, it's Christian. Over a year ago, Hurricane Ida ripped through Louisiana. But you know what? We pay insurance premiums for moments just like this. And when these storms happen, we expect to be compensated because we have insurance. We don't want to fight with the insurance companies. We just want our lives back. We want normalcy. We want things to return to simplicity. And that's where the experts over at Clear Claim Public Adjusters come in. Insurance companies start to behave a lot differently when they find out you have a clear claim on your site. No more missing items, hoops. The best part, no gimmicks. Clear Claim isn't here to take from you. We're here to get more. We pay our insurance premiums on time and in full, so why can't we ask the same from the insurance company? If your claim is, you don't have anything to lose, you only get trouble. Clear Claim will not waste your time. They will quickly and clearly communicate whether you can get more money or not. Call Clear Claim Public Adjusters, 504-500-3000. That's 504-500-3000. Make sure you tell them Christian sent you.
All things legal on WWL, AM/FM.com, and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Outdoor Target text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal, and WWL, AM, FM, Odyssey.com. Also, too, in connection with Hurricane Ida, a lot of individuals used public adjusters. And a lot of times they went through the appraisal process. And in the appraisal process, what happens is one of the parties invokes appraisal, which means the homeowner would appoint an appraiser, the insurance company would appoint an appraiser. They see if they could come to a consensus as to what the damages are, and if they can, an umpire makes a determination as to damages. Now, a lot of homeowners who went through the appraisal process still may have a separate claim under bad faith or extra contractual claims, as stated, meaning they made bad faith in the sense of you might have had a situation where you had a Hurricane Ida claim. Your public adjuster might have made a claim for $150,000. The insurance company only paid $5,000 after deductible, and the appraisal comes back and it's $100,000. Well, the $100,000 would be tendered to you, but there could be a claim under bad faith for not paying the enough money soon enough, basically, or within undisputed payments within 30 or 60 days. And there would be a claim as to whether a lot more than in our example, $5,000 should have been paid when received the demand from maybe a public adjuster or a contractor for $150,000. And that would be a separate and distinct claim that you may have against the insurance company. It would help you recoup some of your cost that you had to pay to do an appraisal or pay a public adjuster or an attorney or what have you. So, Albert, if you could talk a little bit about that, the bad faith claims that, certain people who've already received their money from appraisal. Yeah.
We are reviewing a lot of claims right now, many of which have been paid but not necessarily settled, which means you did not sign a release, right? So an insurance company has a duty to tender. You got to forgive me, I'm outside on my southernmost porch, but the adjuster might not have paid the full amount of the claim, but let's say you damaged for $100,000 and they paid you $5,000 initially or $10,000 initially, and then they came back and said, after you've got your own appraisal done or contract or whatever, and then your damages are $100,000. Well, they come back and say, we'll give you 80. So they want to pay you 80. Well, as long as they pay you the 80 and don't ask you to sign a release, they have a duty to pay what's fair. So they might have re-inspected it, and their inspector, a second adjuster, field adjuster that came out, and he said, yeah, it was worth $80,000. So now they paid you 80. Well, when they pay you, $5,000 to $10,000 the first time around, and pay you 80 the second time around, it's pretty clear that they did not adjust the claim fairly the first time around when they only, showed up with $5,000 or $6,000, $10,000 worth of damages. When in fact, once they sent a competent adjuster out, it was very close to your adjuster's numbers, and so obviously, and then they pay you 80. Well, with that in mind, there's a Fourth Circuit case that's a hurricane-related type case, and it basically said the same thing. So it would defeat the purpose of the bad faith laws of the insurance code to allow an insurance company just to go out and put a little money on the table on a claim, and then you've got to either hire a lawyer, hire a public adjuster, hire a contractor, somebody to come out and show what your true damages are, and then they come back out and agree with you, and it's substantially higher, then they're in bad faith. So what you'll do is you'll take the difference between that initial payment and at least the subsequent payment that they agreed to, right? And you make a claim that, hey, look, this is how much you owe. You owe a 50% penalty on this amount plus attorney's fees. So, assuming my $80,000, $10,000 scenario, that's another $70,000 difference that they paid you. So you would be entitled to $35,000 penalties plus a percentage attorney's fee on that amount because it was bad faith. From an appraisal process, it's even easier because now, third party, if the umpire gets involved, that's going to kind of make a decision as to what it is. And if they grossly underpaid you the first time out, then then that's an issue. If the insurance company's appraiser gets somewhere close to that, third party appraiser, that umpire's number, even that is a significant difference. If that is a significant difference from their initial payment, then they're in bad faith. I mean, the law is pretty clear, and we settle cases all the time, and you hear the defense lawyers go, "Man, I hate that." It's called a geeky is the plaintiff's name in that case that I'm talking about, and say, "Man, I hate the geeky case. It messes me up all the time." Well, you know what? If that's the case, some of your insurance companies hire people that are competent the first time out. They've got cat adjusters all over the country if that's all they do for a living, they should be better trained. I remember taking depositions after Katrina in different cases I was handling, and I asked this lady, I said, how long have you been adjusting? How long have you been adjusting claims? She said, only since Hurricane Katrina. I said, really? What did you do before that? What was your occupation? She said, I was a school teacher and decided I wanted to make some more money. I said, you ever had any construction experience? You ever built anything yourself? You ever worked for any kind of? No. So here it was, some lady took a 2-week course in claims adjusting, and she was out there adjusting my client's commercial building. And it was, and look, I represented insurance companies at the beginning of my career. I was in-house with them. I get that they've got to at least try to put somebody on the street to get an estimate done and make that initial payment within 30 days. And it's thousands and thousands of claims going everywhere. It's devil. Believe me, I get what they're going through. But at the same time, they have a duty, I think, to at least treat you fairly. If they come up with 45,000 and then next time 80,000, okay, we missed a few things. That's reasonable. But to go from 10 to 80 is crazy. And this lady didn't know what she was doing. She had no experience. And some third-party claims adjusting company hired her and just threw her on the street, and she just didn't know what she was doing. And you'll see that over and over again. And that's why you'll get 4 or 5 different adjusters. This one's leaving and that one's rehandling. We're going to reassign this file. It's craziness. But at the same time, they owe a duty to you under a first-party insurance claim to adjust your claim fairly and timely. And if they don't do either, then you're entitled to penalties. So like Doug said, if you had a public adjuster that, got you some money, or you went to the appraisal process, but you did not sign a release, you just got a check, then let us review it. We'll review it. We'll look at the timeline. We'll look at when you submitted your initial claim, when they came out and paid that first claim, when you submitted your supplement, how soon afterwards they re-inspected the loss, how much they paid you the second time. All of these things factor into the good faith, bad faith handling of the claims. And we're doing a bunch of those right now.
Okay. Yeah, you give us a call at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304 if you have any questions on that. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
WWL, home of your New Orleans Saints. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Is Eileen still on?
WWL.com.
There she is.
Okay, tell her we'll take her now.
There's no paywall, no annoying pop-up ads. Just the information you need when you need it. Check out our in-depth coverage of big local and national stories, plus the Gulf Coast best reporting on the Saints, LSU, and Pelicans. We've got your favorite talk personalities, too. Check out interviews, blogs, and hot takes. Plus, WWL.com works great on phones and tablets. No need to go to those other guys' websites anymore. Check out WWL.com today.
Football fans, make this a Thanksgiving to remember with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because now, when you bet an NFL same-game parlay from now through November 28th, all customers get up to $100 and free bets, win or lose. Just bet an NFL same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus of at least $20. The bigger you bet, the more you'll get back in free bets. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a larger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, get up to $150 in free bets, win or lose, when you bet an NFL same-game parlay, 4 legs or more. Sign up with promo code Garrick. That's GARIC. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL and WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. Permitted parishes only. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets and expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $100. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Todd is in love. Sarah, I've never felt this way before. But he's about to find out that sometimes when you chase after love, you've got to step on the gas. Because this isn't your classic holiday rom-com. It's a Nissan event ad. Wait, what? Featuring a powerful performance by Nissan Rogue. Oh, come on.
Todd?
I'm coming with you.
Now make no payments until February 2023 on select vehicles.
Get your heart racing at Nissan's Thrill of the Drive event.
Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com.
Don't let true love or these offers slip away.
Ultimately, get the right options available in person eligible Nissan vehicle from U.S. certified premium staff and finance through NMHC exclusive tax title license. Subject to credit approval and next term limits. Delayed payment must be paid after 90 days from the date of the contract. Accrual interest from the contract and consumers responsible for payment of accrued interest. Delayed payments are only allowed in Pennsylvania. APR 0% dealer participation may vary. Contact 1-888-588-319 for list of eligible vehicles or see dealer for details and the 2022.
We all remember when Ida ripped through Louisiana, especially if you're still fighting with your insurance company. But you think about it, that's why we have insurance. That's why we pay insurance premiums for moments just like that. And when these storms happen, we expect to be compensated because we have insurance. That's the whole idea. Well, that's where the experts over at Clear Claim Public Adjusters come in. Insurance starts operating a little bit differently when they find out you have Clear Claim on your side. No more missing items from your claim, no more jumping through hoops, no more phone calls being ignored. And the best part, no gimmicks. Clear Claim is not here to take your money. They're here simply to get you more money. You paid your insurance premium in full and on time. You honored your part of the deal. So why can't you ask the same from the insurance company? Clear Claim Public Adjusters. Call them at 504-500-3000, 504-500-3000, Clear Claim Public Adjusters.
Your local independent trained comfort specialist knows all about the challenges of living in Louisiana and the Gulf South region. They also know the importance of community and giving back to overcome those challenges, which is why they're excited to partner with Children's Hospital New Orleans and Odyssey New Orleans as the official phone and text line sponsor for the Light Up the Season Radiothon, December 8th and 9th. With your support, we can make a difference. So please consider donating. And remember, it's hard to stop a train.
This winter, make the year's shortest days the most enjoyable in a Cadillac. Pursue your boldest ambitions in a Cadillac SUV. Or lead the way with the dynamic performance of a Cadillac sedan. So seize the season with the resolution to be iconic. Because when the days are at their shortest, it's on us to make them the fullest. Visit your Louisiana Coastal Cadillac dealer.
Game days. Listen for the LCMC Health Injury Report during the countdown to kickoff and locker room shows. Deuce, Bobby, and Christian will break down injuries and how they will impact gameplay and strategy. Brought to you by LCMC Health. Healthcare for Louisianians delivered with heart and soul.
Looking for a fun activity for the entire family? Come visit the brand new New Orleans at the foot of Canal Street. 34 stories high, millions of stories inside. Tickets are just $25 for Louisiana residents. For more info, visit BUBOrleans.com.
French Quarter for me, French Quarter for you, French Quarter facade.
Are you remodeling your kitchen? French Quarter Facade's Kitchen and Bath is at your service. We pride ourselves in things like customer service, innovative kitchen designs for any space, short lead times for cabinetry. We have ample cabinet lines that provide value at every price point. Multiple paint and stain colors for cabinetry, including custom paint colors for that one-of-a-kind look. Come see us in Harahan today.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Eileen. Hey, Eileen, what you have for us?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good.
Still, good morning.
Good morning, yes.
My main concern is back in 1999, we purchased a home here in Mandeville, and in 2006, my husband passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And since that time, I remarried and subsequently paid off the home, the mortgage. All the paperwork for the mortgage is in my current name. I am the sole owner of my home, and it is in my name. And so I took all the paperwork to the courthouse and said, hey, I need to have my property sales tax bill that comes every December changed to my new name. And they said, we can't do it for you. You need to have a notarized document. It can't just be by a notary. It has to be drawn up by a lawyer saying that you are who you say you are and that you own the home and it's paid off. And I don't know what kind of lawyer to...
Well, what you need is a succession lawyer. What you're going to have to do is, I think they'd probably require you to have the property transferred from your name, or did your husband have a will? When he didn't. Okay, so when you purchased the property, were y'all married? Yeah, it's both y'all's name. Okay, well then, what they may require is one or two things. They may require you to do a succession whereby you basically state your husband died. He did not have a will, and that and have a judgment of possession that would state that you own half the property and you have use of your husband's half of the property for the remainder of your life. And so that's been done. Okay, well then, if you done.
Did y'all have any children? Did y'all have any children before he passed away?
Yes.
Okay, so if he did not have a will,
Yeah, right.
if he did not have a will, then those children would come in possession of their half or his half of the house in what's called naked ownership. So they would own it, you would be the usufructuary of it. And so, and so now, now what you want to do now that it's paid off, you paid it off, you want to have it placed in your name with your new married name, correct? Correct. Okay. But your children will still have ownership as well. They're still listed on the title to the property. Correct. Yes. I don't know why you can't just, I guess, go with a marriage certificate to a lawyer's office and have them prepare a document that says, I was Eileen Smith, now I'm Eileen Jones, and I've, remarried and just put the house in your name. It's like that sounds say who it's called.
That's what I want to do, and that's what I've been advised to do. I just don't know what kind of lawyer to go to.
Oh, well.
You can find a lawyer. Does you can handle that on the North Shore, and it's not an affidavit of identity. There's a term of art for it, but basically it says, yeah, I am who I say I am, and she's presented a marriage certificate to, and she's now married to such and such, and her legal name is X. She's presented an identification to me, and this is who she is, and she was formerly this person, owner of this property. Boom.
Yeah.
And then you just go file that with the clerk's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any civil lawyer could do that, probably. Most any civil lawyer.
And you said you have an office here on the North Shore?
Yes, we do. We have an yes, we do. It's Nicaud and Sunseri in the North Shore in Mandeville. Yeah, and Michelle Demarest, my wife, is So you can call there 504-624-9697. She can prepare that affidavit. 985 624-9697. 985-624-9697. Ask for Michelle, and she could do that. All right. Thanks much.
After I get mine, I'll be doing that tomorrow. Thank you all for your time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for the call.
So that affidavit would be like a lineup card in baseball terms, saying who you are, yeah, who you were married to, how many children you have.
Or something, or I forget what the term of art is, but yeah, it's just basically this is who this is who she says she is.
Right. And then
I'm hearing these claims adjuster, public adjuster commercials on TV, on the radio, on TV, and everywhere. I got to tell you, some are very reputable and good. Others, there's one I'm fighting with right now. They have a claim in my client lawsuit because they handled the claim and wanted to refer her to some Galveston attorney to handle her lawsuit because they couldn't go any further with it. They came up with this really high estimate, and then the adjuster for the insurance company said, "Well, we're not going to pay that," and so they had to hire a lawyer. And so the client came to me and said, "No, I want to hire a local attorney." Well, they showed me this contract. It was unbelievable how locked in they are to this public adjusting company. They charge at $500 an hour to do all this work, but then they can cap it at 10%, which is basically a way of trying to get around a contingency fee contract, which the Louisiana Supreme Court says is illegal. And then they want to refer you to this Galveston law firm that wants to charge you 35% of the claim for a property damage claim, plus the cost.
Yeah.
So now you're paying 10% to your public adjuster, who's hooked up with a Galveston law firm, and they want to get 35% of your claim.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at losing
half your claim.
40% of your claim.
Well, not half your claim with the cost. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great. And if the insurance company was not in bad faith, then you don't get any attorney's fees and penalties or anything like that. And so you lose 50% of your claim. And oh, by the way, your public adjuster contract, we get 10% of everything.
Even if somebody else gets it.
If they're going to pay you $30,000 and we got a $100,000 claim, we get $10,000.
Yeah, well, good luck to that.
The first $30,000, they already paid you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, read the contract before you sign up with a public adjuster. Read it carefully and let them know what you're getting into.
All right.
I got to think at this point, we're probably a year and a half in. The days the public adjuster are over. It's time to hire a lawyer and actually file a lawsuit.
Right. All right.
They're not going to get you any closer to where you need to be. And if they can't force it.
Right.
You got to hire a lawyer.
No enforcement mechanism. All right. Hear the music. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. We're back for our last segment right after this brief timeout.
WWL, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Join me and Mike Golan for NFC action from Philadelphia when the Eagles host the Packers. Jalen Hurts and the 9-1 Eagles pulled off a come-from-behind win last week and have the best record in the league. Now they'll face Aaron Rodgers and a Green Bay team desperate for a win. Don't miss any of the action. Packers at the Eagles on Sunday Night Football.
Right here on Saints Radio, WWL.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back. If your first bet doesn't win, just sign up with the promo code WIN. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. So sign up today with promo code WIN for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Must be present in state where lawful wager. 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager. Only refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Arizona 1-800-79-7777. Visit ccpg.org/check. Connecticut 1-800-9-WIN. Indiana, Kansas 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHub.com. Louisiana 1-877-770-STOP. New York 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. Wyoming, West Virginia 1-800-522-4700 or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net.
Hi, this is John from the Silver Sliver, inviting you
you to join us at our award-winning Jubilee Buffet any Monday through Thursday for our all-new Shrimp Feast, where we feature several fabulous shrimp entrees on our buffet line, in addition to our regular lineup. Then on Friday nights and all day Saturday and Sunday, our very popular Crab Feast returns, which has been a favorite here at the Slipper for years. Celebrating 15 years as your friend and neighbor Silver Slipper Casino, we are proud to be your host on the coast.
We have about 3 minutes and 30
Okay.
WWL and Odyssey New Orleans will host the second annual Light Up the Season Radiothon, hosted by the Ray and Jessica Brent Family Foundation to raise critical funds for Children's Hospital New Orleans. Help us help kids. Stay tuned to WWL for more info.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-4180 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
Some people bring joy wherever they go, some whenever they go. Mark Twain found humor all over. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Humor. Pass it on from passiton.com.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Stay tuned for the first take with Steve Geller and Jeff Nowak as soon as we get out for the 11 o'clock hour for the first take. At 1 p.m., Bobby and Christian and Mike Detillier, Bud Light countdown to kickoff. Game time is 3:25 with Deuce and Mike Haas. Turn down the sound. Sync up Mike and Deuce for the Saints San Francisco game. And Albert, you giving the official. You're coming out on a limb and you're saying the Saints are going to win straight up. That is a bold. Low scoring. What do you think? I mean, they got Christian McCaffrey now, and Mike Shanahan using Christian McCaffrey and Samuel. He is having fun with that. So.
It's a good team, but I'm telling you, when we're healthy, I don't know of a better defense in the NFL. I mean, we're in the top 5 probably in terms of defense. So,
Not this year.
Well, no, we're not because we hadn't been healthy. But it looks like we're going to get 2 of our starting defensive linemen back. Well, that makes everybody better when we got a pass rush, right? When you can tackle. Warner, he's another guy. I mean, he was a.
Is he back? Is he coming back? Or is he still out?
I don't know.
No, I don't think he's back. Well, Caden Ellis has filled in very well for him. He's done a very, very good job.
It's got a lot of young guys that have got some minutes. The quarterback that was taken. What's his name?
Yeah.
He was. He had some bad plays
Harris.
early on, but he come along and the rookie. I mean, he's played very well. So I like our defense. If we can give Dalton a little time back there and have a little bit of running.
So, yeah. So what you're saying is take your cryptocurrency and put it on the Saints. Saints to the points, 8.5. I don't know, man. You're very optimistic. You're very optimistic. So I hope you're right. Yeah. All right. Well, all right. Sounds good. All right. We'll be back next week. All things legal. We'll be back on next 2 weeks. Saints play Tampa Bay next Monday night. So y'all have a great week. Go Saints, and we'll see you next week on All Things Legal. Have a great weekend.